can we take a minute to appreciate this sweatshirt?
The color, the pattern, the
everything,
green.
Everything.
Everything
About it. Let's go overhead and let's look at it close up, y'all. Look how stinking adorable. I'm obsessed with these colors. First of all, we're gonna talk about the pattern. You all get the pattern. You get it for free. As long as you've signed up, you get this pattern for free. And there are so many things you can do with this pattern. I'm obsessed with it. I think the colors are very in style. I think it's not too much. It's busy, but it's not too much. I just love it. I love everything about this. So we are going to show you how to put this monogram together. Fun fact, y'all, these are 3 separate fonts. It's not just one file. You're actually getting 3 fonts. So we are going to have to download 3 different fonts. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Do not worry. And then we're gonna talk about how we get this outline, working with Puff, how you can do this without Puff. Now, I am gonna be doing it with Puff today, but I do wanna walk you guys through. I mean, it's gonna be the same process if you don't have Puff. So yeah, I think today is going to be so much fun. I'm going to make sure that you guys walk away from this class feeling accomplished, like you can accomplish this design, because really it is so easy, okay? This is just an initial. Couldn't tell you whose initials it is.
It's somebody really important.
Yeah, somebody really important.
Yeah.
We're gonna call Emily Danielle Maxey. I don't know. Anyway, this is an initial, so how this is set up, you are going to do your last name, and I'll do it with my initials today, not a big deal. So you would do your last name in the middle. This is how a typical monogram is set up. If it is set up like this style monogram is typically set up. The biggest letter is your last name. The letter on the left side is going to be your first name, and the letter on the right side is going to be your middle name, okay?
Yes.
So it should go first name, middle name, last name.
Now, what I want to say is that we have a really unique way of doing monograms here that is not using like a monogram maker. We have actually developed a process with fonts that you'll be able to use monograms, which is really fun. And in my opinion, you get better quality monograms than, for example, the Cricut monogram maker, which doesn't do near this sophistication. So
yes,
just be aware of that.
So one other thing that, you know, this style may not be for everyone. If we're being completely honest, I love a good monogram, but like right now it's not fitting my vibe, but
yeah,
you can take the techniques that we are teaching you today and put it on so
Y'all could do
many
a
different
word,
things.
you could do a word,
Yes.
you could do, and then what I would do
You could do a shape with the pattern.
Yes, what I would do here is if you're like, I'm not in my monogram mood, like you could take, like, people love saying like the word like era, like my mom era, my auntie era.
Yes.
Pick a maker's gonna learn really chunky font.
Yes.
And we could look at some of those too.
Absolutely.
And do that, all right? So don't feel like you have to do a monogram. This is the technique, and we're just showing you features with a monogram. So
Yes.
just be aware.
Yes.
Love it, love it,
So
love it.
first thing I want to do is we're gonna hop over to our share screen, and we are going to go to the supply list. Now, let's just say today is the first day that you've been able to join us for boot camp, and you're thinking, Lauren, where do I find these files and fonts? If you will click the link that Sadie is going to drop, we are giving away all of these files and fonts that we have used this week. So if you click on that link, give us your email, you can get this amazing shadow box file for free. You can get this font that we used here. I think we might have used some other ones. You can get all of the birth flowers, the fonts that we used for this one. We even threw in, sorry if you don't approve, but we approved it yesterday. We threw in a sketch font for this one because we added a little sketch font, like a little saying on the back. Because, you know, we're all
Lauren,
in the mood
you
to give.
weren't here day 2. Did you know that somebody approved all 12 different flowers? Like, who approved that? You know, 12 designs. I got on this show and I looked up and I was like, since when are we giving away the kitchen sink?
I mean, we're trying to love on everybody. We just want to make sure that everyone here feels the love.
Yeah.
So we're just, you know, we were feeling froggy.
So good.
So how you're going to get these files, once again, give us your email from that link. We're gonna send you the link to this page, and how you're gonna get those files is at the very top. Look, there's even some graphics that go along with it. All you have to do is, we are going to, right here, there it is. Click this little pink box here. It's going to download the zip file. You're going to double click that zip file. What it's gonna do, it's gonna open up in a folder like this, okay? You're going to double click that folder, and then we even have it separated. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. I mean, it's that simple. Today we are doing day 5 project, so we're gonna double click day 5 and open that up. Now you can see we have our pattern, which is a PNG file, and then we have all 3 of these fonts. So you have your scallop monogram center, you have your left, and you have your right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna double click the middle. We are going to install that onto our computer, okay? Then we're gonna go back to our Finder. We're gonna double click the left side, install, back here, double click the right side, and install, okay? So now we have downloaded. Now, one thing I want to make clear, if you're working on a Mac, it's going to be very similar to this. You're going to find it in what we call our font book. If you are on PC, it is going to be called your character map.
Yeah.
Okay? Same thing, 2 different names. That's it. So once you have done that, we're going to go back to Cricut Design Space. We're going to cancel this cut, cancel. We are gonna go to My Stuff, and we are going to find our project. I had to think there for a minute. We're gonna replace this. Okay, so now we have our project pulled up. One thing I want to make sure you guys know and understand is once you have downloaded a font, okay, I'm gonna try to go as slow as possible because I know we have a lot of friends on here. Once you have downloaded your font onto your computer, if you have already opened up Cricut Design Space, you must go to View and reload Cricut Design Space. What that is going to do is it is then going to recognize all of the new fonts that you have downloaded on your computer, and it is going to put it into going to load it into the program, the Cricut Design Space program, okay?
Yes.
So if you are working on something, you need to make sure that you save your project before you reload, because if you don't, you are going to lose it. So I have reloaded Design Space now. What we're gonna start doing is we're gonna start building our monogram, okay? So the first thing that I lied. We're gonna go back to our Finder real quick. We're going to upload first, and because I did see someone ask this question, I want to make sure that I answer it. Yes, we are uploading the pattern as a print and cut or a PNG, a portable network graphic, okay? So we're gonna go to upload on the left-hand side of your toolbar over here at the bottom. You're gonna see upload. You're gonna go to upload image. Now, what I'm going to do, you can browse if you want to. Personally, I like to bring my Finder back into view right here, and I like to grab this, and this is just because I already have all of this pulled up on my Finder where I need it, okay? So I like to highlight my PNG or my floral pattern that I have here, and we're gonna drag. And do you see how that turns green? I take it away, it's not green. I put it over, it's green.
Ooh.
Green is a go. So we're gonna let it go. Now, it says that the image is very large, so it may take it a few minutes. However, once we have done that, we do want to use complex. The reason being is because this is a very detailed image, and we want to make sure that it has all of the detail and we can't miss it, okay? Trish asks, can we use pattern HTV? Trish, absolutely. If you do not have printable HTV, 100%. Use pattern HTV. That is an amazing workaround. And I mean, you're sharing what you're coming up with our friends here. I love that. I love you all sharing your ideas because like I said before we got started, there are so many workarounds to what we are doing and you can still recreate this in your own way. I just want you guys to learn the basics of what we're teaching, okay?
Love it.
So we're using complex image. We're gonna go to continue. We are applying continue. We don't need to do anything there. We don't want the cut image because the cut image is just gonna give us a big old square, okay? Don't need the big old square. We want the print and cut image, so we're gonna select that, upload that to our canvas. And then once that is uploaded, once again, you all know Cricut's been a little funny here recently. It may take it a few minutes, but once that is uploaded, we're just going to select that and add it to our canvas, okay?
Love it.
So, comes in pretty large. We're just gonna size it down just a little bit. We'll size it down a little bit more right now, and we're just gonna keep that right here on the side, okay? So we have downloaded the 3 fonts that we need, our left, middle, and right, and we have downloaded and added to our canvas the print that we are using. Once again, if this print is not for you and you are a Makers Gonna Learn member, we have so many cute patterns and prints that you can choose from.
Woohoo.
So once you have done all of that, what we are going to do now is grab a text box, okay? So, whoop, pull it over here where we can see it. Once we have grabbed our text box, we are going to change our font. We are gonna go over to System Fonts, and we are going to type in, look, there it is, 2-letter circle left, 2-letter circle right, and I don't know where the middle is.
Mark's asking, do we have a more masculine pattern? Yeah, Mark, check the website. There's a lot of patterns over there that you can play around with. Do not feel like you have to use the floral one.
No, you do not have to use the floral one. Let's just go here right now. And I just wanna show you guys, and this is for if you aren't a member and you're thinking, I don't know, let's go to our cut files, and all you have to do once you go to cut files, let's just type in pattern. Literally, we're just gonna type in pattern.
So good.
And we have all kinds of patterns that you can find here. We have seasonal ones, we have other ones, we have swatches, we even have a section. If pattern is not in the name, we can even go to the category and we can scroll down to pattern here in our category. And I don't know why the paper dolls come up.
You just never know sometimes. We've been working on our search functionality so much.
We have been working on our search, but we have plenty of other patterns.
Yes.
And a little secret for those that have Makers Gonna Sublimate.
Ooh.
We have even more patterns in the sublimation course that you can still use for this.
Yes,
okay?
I love that.
So now we're gonna go back, sorry for the side tangent, we're gonna go back to building our monogram. I don't want to get too far off task.
Catherine, if you are having trouble finding these beautiful free files, my dear friend Sadie is going to drop you the bootcamp link. Click that bootcamp link with the little camping tent, drop your email, and then boom, you're going to be emailed your amazing supply list. What? You're going to have all of these files.
Wow.
There's like probably 40 files between files and fonts because our team just has been going overboard.
Yep. So what I just did, back to share screen, what I just did is I selected the circle left. So we're starting from the left side and then we're gonna move to the right side, okay? So circle left, and here it is. We're just gonna type in the letter L. Now, it's very small right now, guys. No fears. We're gonna size them all together in just a minute, okay? That way they're all the same size. So we have our L. Is that the scallop? That's not the scallop.
What is it?
Hold on.
Are you
That's not the scallop. Nope, circle left. Let's just type in scallop.
Yes.
I thought it was scallop. I couldn't really see it from where I was.
Right.
There it is.
Right.
Scallop monogram left. That's what I needed. Although that L looks very dumb.
Why don't we use like Meredith or Sarah's monogram?
Let's see what an S looks like.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
S
Can we
looks
talk
good.
about that? Let's zoom into that real quick and let's have a conversation. Because like, what you want to look for, in my opinion, if you're, a lot of people love to ask questions about like, what if I don't have a middle name? Personally, if I do not have a full monogram, which is 3, first, middle, last, I would not do this project. Right?
Yeah.
Or you could do first and last name. It's just gonna look a lot different, and you just have to be okay with it and just like own that. If I only had 2 letters, I would probably just use a regular font. All right.
Yeah.
And some names just won't look good in a monogram.
And some names don't look good in certain things. Like, we'll go back and look at that L. Like, let me delete that S. That looks dumb to me.
That looks like a shape that is not fully filled in. That I would never.
I would never do my monogram in that.
But I also wouldn't even consider that a letter.
No, that's not a letter. I mean,
right.
now I would have to pick a different monogram font from our website.
Yes.
So, I mean, you
Yes.
just have to play around with it.
Exactly.
Tanya, we do have monogram letters without the scallop. We use the scallop for this project, so that's what we gave you guys for free. If you remember, we have plenty of monogram fonts on our
So
website.
good.
Okay? But like, let's see, random H. Yeah. No. I mean, S looks really good.
Love it.
Okay, so we're gonna go with Sarah's monogram today. So we have the left side, and we've got the S here. I don't know why this bounding box is so large, but it is getting on my nerves.
Right.
Anyway, now we're gonna go back, grab another text box. No, what is that?
Is it trying to paste? Sometimes the computer, this is not Cricut's fault, it's just our computer, just to let everyone know.
What is going on?
Sometimes, we're getting the spinning wheel of death. Welcome to the show, almost 700 people. Spinning wheel of death.
You're kidding me, right?
You see the spinning wheel of death?
I see
I
it.
see the spinning wheel of death. There's no kidding here, but we do have, let's take a moment to thank 638 beautiful souls being here live at the Makers Gonna Learn Studios. Hello, thank you for being here for boot camp.
Okay, there it went away.
Woohoo!
Yes. I'm gonna grab this text box, bring it over here, make it larger. Now we're gonna go back to the middle. We need this scalloped monogram center font, and we're gonna go with M. The M looks good. I like the M.
Love it.
Love the M. Love the M. Okay? So we're building, we're going, we're going. See? Beautiful. Okay? So now we have to have our right side. So we're gonna grab our text box again. I'm going to pull it over here, make it a little larger so you guys can see. Go to our fonts, and now we need this scallop monogram right. Click that.
Yes.
Beautiful. And then we're gonna type in our G.
Love it. Now this
Hers
is a
looks so
really good
good.
monogram. So this is Lauren's sister.
This is for my little sister, Sarah Grace.
Yes.
So her monogram always looks good.
Always.
Literally in anything,
Yeah.
hers always looks good.
Yeah, and it's just her letters are full. She has a lot of, it's even. The M really balances it. What a great last name, McCoy.
I mean, you can't beat it.
The S and the G are even too. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to this name, y'all.
A lot of benefits. So we're gonna zoom in because I want to show you guys what I like to do to make sure that they're even. Okay. I want to grab the G, so I have the G selected over here. Deborah says my D is in mirror image. Why is that? It might be because, so let's do this. G, that looks the same. Oh, it is backwards. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll look into it. So sorry
We'll
about
look
that.
into it. We'll look into that. Okay, so back to what we're doing. We want to make sure that these two are the same size, okay? So this one, if you look at your font size, this one says 299.08. So we're gonna change this one to 299 as well, and make sure that they are the same size on both sides. Now it looks like after doing that, the M needs to be just a smidgen larger. However, before I do that, what I want to do is I want to make sure the G is selected, okay? G is selected. Come down here to the first one, our one on the left, so it would be the S for us. I'm going to make sure those are both selected, so you can see I have my S selected and my G. Now it looks like if you're looking on the canvas, it looks like the M is selected as well. Y'all, it is not. I highly suggest to start working from your layers panel for stuff like this, okay? I love working from here because it allows me to choose things, but like not accidentally click on something else that I don't want to move. So with your first letter and your last letter selected, we're gonna come up here to align, and we are going to center them vertically. Do you all see what that just did? Let's go back. You can't really tell it, like it looks pretty good if you're just looking at it, if you're eyeballing it right here, but selecting the G, coming down here to the S, holding our shift key down, selecting the S. Once again, still looks fairly even, okay? But we need to go to align and center them vertically. Did you all see how that one little movement made it so much better? So while they are both selected, okay, keep those both selected. Do not click anything else. I want to come down here and I want to come down here and I want to attach them together.
Love
so
it.
now my S and my G.
Real quick, let's take a little simple training real quick. Lauren, why did you attach versus all the other functions?
Right now, the reason that I attached is because, you know what? I couldn't tell you why. Because
well, the way I always look at it is the reason I attach versus any other function is because they're not touching.
Right.
And it's always undoable. It's a paper clip,
yes.
so you can always undo it. You can always play around with it more, and none of it's overlapping.
What just happened?
Lauren, we just bless and anoint this computer. Amen. Guys, we can't make this up. Okay, never mind, it's back.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, anyway. So I have attached those two. Now, I want to make my M larger because it is not big enough right now. So I do want it to stand out. Now what I'm gonna do, I've made it larger. Just a little bit more, I think. Up, that's a little too much. Bring it back down. Now what I want to do is I want to drag and select all of that, okay? And actually it looks pretty centered. I'm just gonna leave it. Here we go.
Love it.
Here it is. This is, I'm gonna drag and drop and I'm gonna attach them all together, okay? So now all our letters.
Y'all are laughing that I bless the computer, but half the time I pray before the live streams. Y'all don't even know. The devil is not playing with the church's money today, y'all. The devil knows it's the last day of boot camp, and we are not going to let Design Space act up. No. You hear me?
Not happening.
Not happening here.
Okay. So now what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to size your monogram to fit within your pattern. Okay, size your monogram to fit within your pattern.
Yes.
Our next step is selecting our pattern and selecting our letters. Can't do that. Just kidding.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding. We're gonna go back and we're gonna detach these. Do you wanna know why we're gonna detach these?
I do, tell us.
Okay. So the reason we are detaching them now that we have them placed where we want them is because we can only slice one layer at a time.
Now, Lauren.
Let me repeat that.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Two layers at a time. I said one, 2 layers at a time.
Right. If we welded this together, could we slice it all out at once?
If you weld it together, yes. But the problem with welding, it's not a problem. Let's talk about, it's not a problem. Welding, you can't undo.
Yeah.
After you have gone out of design space, you cannot undo a weld. I like to be able to have an option to undo something if I want to change it. Okay?
Yes, I agree.
So that's why I'm not gonna weld it. Another reason I'm not going to weld it. And another reason why I'm going to do these individual letters, I'm going to slice each individual letter, is because in our supply list, we linked the Caesar DTV that is the tabloid size. So it's like 11 by 16. This is not as easily accessible to everyone.
Yes.
And it's a little bit more expensive.
Right.
Okay? So I want to make sure that you guys have the option to print the letters on the 8.5 by 11.
Love it.
Because it's a lot more accessible. Most printable HTVs, even if you don't get the Caesar brand and you get a different printable HTV, most of them are gonna come in at 8.5 by 11. So I wanted to give you guys the option to make this as large as you want and have the right materials.
Amazing.
Okay, so stick with me. We have had some friends that said, you not? You absolutely can you not, and slice it together. But we're gonna do each individual letter. That way we can, at the end of this, I can print my S as big as I want on one sheet. Then I'm gonna print my M on another sheet. And then I'm gonna print my G, and we're going to assemble it all together, because let's be honest, I think I looked, and I'm wanting to say like, and you can look at the supply list, the one that was linked, I want to say you can get like, it's like 10 sheets for like 30 bucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And so I wanted to make sure that you all had options.
Love it.
And everything was available to all of our friends here, okay? So let's talk about slice, because we're going to have to slice these letters into this pattern. I love using this analogy. And so if you are off doing something else, I want you to come back to me, because we're gonna talk about slice and how slice works and why we can only slice 2 layers at a time. So I want you guys, let's go to our share screen. I want you guys to think of this pattern right here. We're making cookies, okay? We're making cookies today, and this pattern is our cookie dough. The pattern is our cookie dough. We can only take this G, we're gonna think of this G as a cookie cutter, okay? So we can only take this, use one cookie cutter at a time. We can't use all 3 cookie cutters at the same time. So we can take, we're gonna start with our first cookie cutter, which is our G, and we're going to select our pattern, which is our cookie dough, and we're gonna slice that out. Now, where did my S and my M go? Don't worry guys, it's still there, I promise. Okay? So, still working from our layers panel, guys, because my layers panel, I'm gonna say it once and I'm gonna say it again. My layers panel is my favorite place to work.
Yes.
We're gonna go to our middle letter, which is our M. We're gonna select our cookie cutter M. We're gonna come back up here with our shift key, press down. We're gonna select our cookie dough again, our pattern. And we're gonna come down here, we're gonna slice. Oh, okay. Still not seeing it, but you can see right here, we've got our M cut out too.
Yay, okay.
So last one, we're gonna select our last cookie cutter, which is our S. You can see the bounding box, it's still there, it's not gone anywhere, it's just behind our cookie dough. And we're gonna select our cookie dough again, which is our pattern. With your shift key held down, we're selecting it on our layers panel. We're coming back down here to the bottom and we're selecting slice.
Love it.
Now, it looks like, okay, Lauren, nothing's changed. Give me 2 seconds. With this slice result selected, I'm going to delete. Oh wait, there it is. But we still have our gray layers, or our original cookie cutters that we had. We're just gonna go ahead and delete those out too. And then you can see the G go away and give us our pattern G.
So
Look
fun.
at that.
Looks amazing.
Look at that.
Looks amazing.
So now what we're gonna do, we're not done. Not done just yet. We are going to select all of these. Now, if you didn't want to have a border, let's go overhead. Let's say you just wanted to do something with a pattern and you don't want this border, you can be done on what we just did. But if you want a border on your letters, here's what you need to do. Back to Design Space. We are going to put an offset on all of our letters. So we're going to select them all, okay? Select all of our letters.
It looks so good, by the way. This pattern is popping off.
I know, I know. So with all of our letters selected, we're gonna go to offset, and you are going to put an offset. Now, you can put as large or as small of an offset as you like. I suggest pretty small, so it's on each individual letter. Now, you can play around with it if you want. Let's just go with a 0.1, because I think a 0.1, none of them are touching. I feel like it's a good medium. So once you have your sweet spot with your offset, we are going to select apply. Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
That was so easy.
It is.
Wow.
There's still one more step.
Only
Okay.
one?
The same step repeated.
Okay.
The same step repeated.
Okay, we'll take it.
So what we're going to do now, because I want to move this out of the way and then I'm going to move it back. If you are doing puff vinyl, let's talk about this. If you're doing puff vinyl, clearly you can't have all of this behind it. Now, if you want to do regular vinyl, you can actually layer printable HTV on top of regular heat transfer vinyl. So you could leave it exactly like this and just print each letter and lay it on top. Would be fine. However, with puff vinyl, if you have this center, then we'll go overhead, then this right here would be puffed up and it would look terrible.
Right.
So what we have to do, back in Design Space, we're gonna move this guy. Actually, I'm just gonna go to undo so I know that it gets exactly where it should be. Beautiful.
People cannot believe how good the pattern. Everybody was like against the pattern, then they see this and they're like, okay, I really like the pattern
Okay,
now.
I might like it. Yes. Okay, so if you're going to use the puff, you have to slice out the middle part so that it's not there, okay? So what I mean by that is we have to take our offset, and once again, with each of these individual layers, we have to offset. It's gonna be our cookie dough this time, okay? And then we're gonna start with our G and slice. So we've sliced the G, so we're gonna grab our cookie dough again, which is the black layer or our offset layer. And did you guys know that you can rename these layers if you start getting confused? Look, all you have to do is double click that, and we're gonna call this puff layer. This is gonna be our puff layer.
So our team looked further into that D issue. It's the way the D was set up, because a D is usually rounded on the left side, or rounded on the right side. It's just how it was set up. Like, that's how the D looks. So I think the D on the left side, just as a follow-up for earlier, that's just a great example of why we wouldn't use a D if that's your first initial, all right? Because you can see, like, it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, oh no, come on. Are you serious?
It'll come back.
Are you serial right now? Okay, so we're gonna take our puff layer again, although you literally can't see it.
Design Space, why are you doing this to us? Dear Lord, bless the Design Space.
We've done our G, let's do, oh, there it goes.
It's
okay,
back.
It's back. We're gonna do, so we have our puff layer selected with our M Slice.
People's minds are blown.
Now, once you slice, can I remind you, it is then going to turn into a slice result. So it's going to rename itself as slice result. So if you plan on slicing something, I wouldn't necessarily rename it because you're gonna have to rename it every single time.
Right.
But anyway, so let's just go ahead and get rid of let's just keep going. So we have our cookie dough selected, and we're gonna come down here to our S, that's our last letter, select it, slice it.
So good.
Okay, so now all we have to do is get rid of that black letter, the black M, and the black G. Select this, we'll rename this our puff layer. And I can select it. And look, guys, look at that.
Love it.
It's all done.
So that's our puff layer. Yay.
Look how amazing. So this is gonna be our puff layer, remind you. So this one, we are keeping it together. The reason that we're keeping this one together is because puff comes in 12 by 12, 12 by 24. It's large enough that when you purchase puff, it can stay the same.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the printable HTV that a lot of times just comes in the 8.5 by 11. So I wanted to make sure that we all could do this project together.
Yes,
okay?
so good.
So the last thing you're gonna wanna do is we're gonna move our puff back over here, our puff layer back over, center it on our design.
Beautiful.
Okay? And we are going to size it.
Lauren, people are obsessed with this training, by the way. Just to let you know, like,
Good.
people are vibing.
Good. It's my inner teacher coming out. I can't help it. So we're going to size, see about how big we can make our design. So if you're working with, it has to be 11.5 if you've got 12 by 12 puff, because as most of you guys know, yes, there is Cricut, the Cricut mats are 12 by 12, 12 by 24. However, you do have to have that 1/2 inch as a kind of buffer zone. So it can only be 11.5 inches in width. Okay, so we're gonna go back to design space. So right now we're sitting at about a 7 by 7. So we're gonna make sure that all layers are selected so you can drag and drop. You can also see over here on our layers panel that all 4 layers that we need are selected.
Love
okay?
it.
Now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna size it. And I am pretty zoomed in, so let me zoom out just a little bit.
So fun.
But one other thing that you do have to be aware of is the center letter. The center letter does have to remain under 11 inches, okay? So
Smart.
our M, we're still looking at 9.5. So we're actually good. Not a problem there. I don't know why this, we do have to change our puff layer. If you look at, once again, I'm preaching the layers panel today, guys. Because did you guys notice our little red exclamation mark right here? Mm-hmm. What that means is that there's something wrong. And I found out, if you look, it says print and cut. Guys, that we're not doing our puff is not gonna be print and cut. So we need to come over here to our operations and change it to basic cut.
So good.
Now, looking at the M, we're sitting at 3.25 by close to 10. That's about as big as you're gonna get. You're not gonna get any bigger to fit on an 8.5 by 11 piece of printable HTV, okay? That's all you're gonna do. So I'm gonna hide my other initial. And once you have sized it, you're ready to go. We're ready to start making. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna click Make It. What this is going to do is it's going to put each, actually look, our S and our G, you don't even have to have 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11, only 2.
Amazing. And Mary, you can totally renew now and add it, so it's so good.
And this went to a 12 by 24 for some reason. We're just gonna put it on a 12 by 12. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our first letter. And from there, we are going to put our DTV in our printer. Now, it prints, if you've ever worked with printable vinyl, this is the Caesar DTV. We truly do love this. It's very thin. If you work with printable HTV, whether it's Caesar DTV or any other brand, you do have to have heat transfer tape. Now, I know that we had this issue the other day. Come back to one. The only time, or I'm not gonna say the only time, but the majority of the time, you're only gonna need heat transfer masking tape like this is when you work with a printable material, guys, because it prints on this side, so there is no built-in carrier sheet. So you have to have your own. Now, if you're working with regular HTV has a built-in carrier sheet. So you don't have to have this for regular HTV, okay? I'm not gonna have to use this for puff because it already has its own carrier sheet. It's just for printable materials.
So good.
So, just wanted to clear that up for everybody.
Amazing.
What I'm doing now, turn on my printer, and I'm going to put both of my sheets. I like putting it in my rear tray. If you don't have a rear tray on your printer, you can put it in the bottom tray. Just remember, if you put it on the bottom tray, it needs to be, most printers do it face down because it pulls it up through the printer, and it's like here, and pulls it this way and prints.
Now, Lauren, Bethany asked, so is DTV just printable heat transfer vinyl?
Yes, DTV, I don't know where the D came from.
Okay.
I don't know what the D stands for. I just know that it's printable heat transfer vinyl.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I feel like that product came out right as like DTF came out.
Well,
and
okay,
it's like so confusing to me.
So DTF
is a
has
whole
been
other
around.
World. But it just entered our world.
It entered
last summer.
Yes, it entered the hobbyist craft world.
Yes.
I guess you could say.
Oh, people are saying
sublimation.
direct to vinyl. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess it is direct to vinyl.
Love it.
But anyway, DTF is different than DTV.
Love it.
It's just a printable heat transfer vinyl.
Oh, people are saying direct to vinyl print. Okay, that makes more sense. It's
Direct to vinyl print. Yeah.
Sure. We're printing directly on the vinyl.
Yes.
That goes on the shirt.
Yes.
Or the fabric.
But I can also see where people can get confused.
Yes.
Yes, DTF uses a powder.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even talk about it.
We could have a whole boot camp just about DTF. So we're focused on DTV.
Yes. This is for an inkjet printer. Let's be clear, inkjet printer. Our favorite is the Canon. Honestly, the Pixma line is going to give you the best results in my opinion. The Pixma line of inkjet printers is made to like print professional pictures at home. It's not like truly professional, but it's gonna be the most professional that you can get printer-wise, like for pictures and things like that at home. So I don't think you can go wrong with any Canon Pixma inkjet printer. We are using the TS9500 today. It is a larger printer, but you can get some of the Canon Pixma printers pretty cheap. We have another one out there. It's the TS8100. It is a smaller one. So just FYI, that's what we are using. Someone did ask earlier, do you not mirror? That is a great question because heat transfer vinyl, we have to mirror if we're using heat transfer vinyl, right? This is a heat transfer vinyl, so why don't we mirror? The reason we don't mirror is because it's going to print on this front side, and I'm gonna pull this. It's going to print on this side, and this is the side that we lay down, so go overhead, Sadie. This is the side it prints on. This is how we lay it down. That's how my brain works. If I lay it down like this, I don't mirror. If it cuts on this side and I have to turn it over, I mirror. We don't turn this one over, so we don't mirror. And that's why we need the masking tape.
Yep.
So we're going to place this in our printer, going to continue. Do you need a special ink, Brina? No.
Such a great question. Such a great question.
Inkjet, just
Yep,
an inkjet printer.
Inkjet.
Regular.
Do not accidentally print this in your sublimation printer.
Nope. So we're going to send this to printer. For this one, this is a great instance where we are using bleed because we want to give our Cricut enough wiggle room that we have no white on the outside. So we're turning on bleed and we're using our system dialog. Okay, I always use my system dialog. That way I can get the best print quality possible, okay? So once you, for this one, we're, like I said, we're adding bleed, we're using our system dialog, and we're going to hit print. Tammy said, which side should you print on, the white or the light gray? We're printing on the white. The light gray is our, what they call the backer, okay? So if you have, if you're, a lot of times our print dialog comes up behind that. So we just kind of pull Design Space down and it's there. Now, I'm feeding this from rear tray, so I need to put feed from rear tray, media type. Now, I'm gonna let you guys know, this is not photo paper, but I'm turning it to, I'm turning the media type to photo. Why do I do this? Is because I get a better color payout when I change it to photo. One thing I need to be clear on, if you change your media type to photo every single time, you're gonna use more ink. That's just how it is, because the saturation of the colors are a lot more when you change your media type to photo. Last thing you wanna do is change your quality from normal to best. And that's it. We're gonna print.
Look at how fast that technology is.
Look at that.
Instantly.
Look at that.
Instant. Woohoo.
I know. So,
awesome. Yes, make sure the Cricut's calibrated if you have been having issues. A lot of people have been dogging Cricut's print and cut capability. I personally have been using it fairly often, and our Cricut hasn't been too terribly bad, but let us know in the comments how yours has been going. Do you need me to grab you a mat?
I need a mat.
Yeah, I'll grab you one.
I mean, there's one right here that's a strong grip,
Lauren,
and I don't need a strong grip.
I'd just be honored to grab Lauren's mat today.
Thank you so much.
You know.
Thank you so much.
I'm just here to serve today. What can I say?
Okay, Amy says, I never use bleed. You know what, Amy? A lot of times we don't use bleed either. However, if there is an instance where I want to make sure that there is no white at all on the edge, and I'm like, I don't know how long it's been since I've calibrated, I'm gonna turn bleed on just to be on the safe side.
Now listen, when you are not using your bleed section, you are just risking it. All right, y'all? Bleed is not gonna cost you anything. It's gonna save you. The only time you need bleed is when you should have after you should have turned it on.
Now, I will say this. If I'm making stickers or something and I have like a white offset around my stickers and I'm printing it on white sticker paper, I normally don't I just turn it off.
Yeah.
Just because but even if I left it on, there would not be a bleed because we have a white layer. That's gonna be what's on the edge. Okay, so now that that's printed, we are going to place this down on our, dang it, our brayer's out there too.
Oh.
And that's not, I might need a strong grip mat because that ain't sticking at all. It's right here though.
I looked quite around for you a stronger one. That's why I brought you two.
Okay, well, you know what?
Strong mat it is.
Strong grip mat, I just had you go out there for nothing.
No worries.
Okay,
I ordered a bunch of mats during...
They're in the closet.
Oh, they're in the closet. I was like, I knew I ordered them.
They're in the closet. We just kind of keep them in there.
Hidden.
Yep.
Makes us
Okay.
use what we got.
So the reason I changed to a strong grip mat is because, and you know what I realized? I didn't go over materials before I started.
We're so far in. What are you talking about?
I know. Okay, so the reason I'm using a strong grip mat is because this light grip mat, I don't know if it's like the backer of this, it just was not sticking. So I put this on a strong grip mat. Going back to Design Space. I'm just use Everyday Iron-On for this. And then we are I'm gonna move my Celsius out of the way. And we're going to send this through our Cricut. Speaking of print then cut, I use glossy paper and it never cuts the glossy. What did I do wrong?
Ooh.
Deborah, you did nothing wrong. Check your lights, number one, because a lot of times it seems like lights will distort our registration marks, especially on shiny paper. First thing I want you to try is some Scotch tape over top of those registration marks. It will dull it down enough, but still be able to see through it, so your Cricut's gonna register. If for some reason that doesn't work and you see a white crayon laying around somewhere, take that white crayon and rub over, and then that should help the shininess so that your sensor on your Cricut can pick that up, okay? That. So now we're going to send our next layer to the printer, system dialog. Once again, we're doing the same thing we just did. Where did it go?
Y'all, we have our bougie heat press. Everyone asks questions about this. This is the clamshell. It is worth the splurge, but here's the dealio. We can never find them in stock anymore. Someone linked it to like not a creepy website, but like a website I'd never heard of. I only would order from
what? Who linked what?
Someone just shared. It was like, hey, like, could I get it from this website? And like that website I just had never heard of. So just be careful.
Oh, one other thing that I did, I turned my heat press on. Caesar DTV has a 311 degrees. Why the 1 degree? Why not make it 310? I don't know. But it says 311, so I popped this bad boy onto 311 because we are going to tack down our DTV first, okay? Now, when I say tack down, it's because I want to have enough heat that it stays down, but I don't want to do the full thing because we're also gonna add a layer of puff, so it's gonna get another press. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. Y'all, are you seeing how this just weeds?
Does that not weed beautiful? Or
wow. It literally makes me so happy every time I do it with my hand.
So fun.
I love it. I love it.
Yay.
Okay, so now that our other letters have come out, we're going to lay this down on here. Somebody said yesterday, do you all never use a brayer? Up.
What'd you just do? What'd you just do?
I just want to show you guys what I just did, and
come back to us.
Gotta make sure you don't do this.
Uh-oh.
Look what I just did. Go back over to share screen.
On herself.
Look at our stuff. Do not do what I just did. I caught myself, thank goodness. Make sure your letters are facing the way that they should.
Oh.
I had them upside down on the mat.
That would have
been a big mistake.
That would not have been fun.
A big mistake. Okay. Oh, that's crooked. Crooked. As a dog's hind leg. Okay. There we go. Oh, speaking of, going back to the brayer, somebody said yesterday, do you all never use a brayer? I was like, yeah, we do. It's just in our craft room and we're too lazy to go out and get it right now. So we've got this on. Coming back over here to our machine, we're gonna load this in. And everyday iron on. Default pressure, it's going to, what's the word?
I don't know.
The registration marks.
Yes.
It's going to register the registration mark.
Now, what would have happened here, two things could have happened. One, Cricut could have registered the registration marks and cut it, and it would have been backwards.
Yep.
Or it would have said they couldn't have found the registration marks.
Yep.
We don't know how smart Cricut would have been. Luckily, we caught it. Praise the Lord.
Yes. So what I'm doing while that's cutting, I'm gonna get my heat transfer tape, and I'm just gonna cut some of this off and get it ready. And I'm gonna cut a big enough sheet that I can get all three of these letters on one thing, so I lay them all down together.
Love it. So this is a good example that Cricut doesn't know what it doesn't know.
Yes.
And you have to tell it. So you have to lay it down the exact way Cricut is expecting you to lay it down, because it doesn't know that you put it upside down, right?
Yep.
So there are some machines out there that have cameras and not like the scanners like Cricut does, but I really don't think that would change that much for this type of print and cut.
Jen says she's never heard the phrase Cricut as a dog's hind leg.
Did you just say it?
Yeah, I said it earlier. I
My
said it when I
dog's front legs are crooked.
No,
Oh,
dogs.
sorry, I'm reading dead. Crooked as a dog's hind leg.
Crooked as a dog. I grew up on that.
I don't think I've ever heard it either. And
I know that I'm country. I know
me
that
and
I'm.
Lauren come from the same
But
neck of the
my
woods,
family
literally.
my family also loves euphemisms. Like we would have a euphemism for everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once again, let's just go overhead and look at how beautiful this. Let's just watch it.
Lauren,
one more time.
if I only have an
Oh.
easy press, say a 9x9 easy press, I can still do puff vinyl, yeah? Would that be harder? You can make it work.
As long as your design fits within the 9x9 plate.
Yes. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Your design has to fit within that plate for it to work.
Perfect,
Okay?
Perfect.
So we did the outside of that. One thing that I'm gonna do, and this is for all of our friends that is going to do this on 8.5 by 11, here's what I suggest. I suggest you cut these two apart, just like this, okay? And here, let's go ahead and start the process of cutting our puff vinyl so that it's cutting while we're doing this other stuff and we don't have to wait any more time. We don't have to waste any more time. So I'm laying this down. Yes, I'm using my hand. And honestly, guys, I don't trust. I do not trust. This is curling up. Don't trust it.
You gotta go with your heart, Lauren.
And my heart is telling me to tape down.
Listen.
Heart, even on a brand new mat, my heart is telling me to tape.
Take note.
If your heart tells you to tape. Even if you have trust issues, honey, tape it down.
I love
because
it.
puff vinyl has a carrier sheet that is like, I don't know, it's hard to get it to stick to mats sometimes. Yeah. So if you have trust issues, tape it out.
So good.
So I'm taping my edges so it doesn't go anywhere. Let's go to design space. One thing I do have to do, I do need to edit this. You must turn on your mirror.
Yep.
Okay? You must turn on your mirror for your puff vinyl. Now, done. Once again, everyday iron-on for puff vinyl. Mary asked, do you mirror puff? Absolutely.
So good.
We're gonna go ahead and put this bad boy through here. And while that's cutting, let's go back overhead. We are going to place our letters where we need them. Now, you may even have to cut even more of that backer off so you can get the letters as close as you want them, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Like that. And I'm gonna cut more off of this G. And this is just so I can get them all at one time on that transfer tape.
Now,
and I don't have to place them individually.
Mary asked, do you mirror the puff vinyl?
Yes.
Yes.
I just did.
Yes.
Okay. Do you all see what I did there?
Uh-huh.
Do y'all see this? Now I've got my heat transfer tape.
Yeah.
Taco method, I'm starting from the middle because this stuff has some static to it.
Yes.
So be careful.
Yes.
Shoop.
Beautiful.
Don't think about it, just do it.
So smart.
Don't think, just do.
And
now,
it looks, guys, can we just talk about, Lauren talked about this earlier. This material we are using here, little more expensive than printable vinyl, but we love it. It's some of the best, I repeat, best quality you'll ever get. And I'm obsessed with it, okay? I'm obsessed with it.
Okay, so I'm just, once again, I'm using my finger. Y'all should probably use a, look, I should be doing this.
Right.
I should be a professional and I should be doing this. Okay, now we're just going to take this up off the backer.
Guys, I will let you know that this heat press is like industrial. Like I feel like if we needed to run a sweatshop, we could do it with the clamshell. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's very industrial. We have its own cart. It's very heavy. Some people in the office probably don't even ever want to pick it up. Me and Lauren are like some of the only people.
We're the only ones that can pick it up, I think.
I wasn't going to say that, but like Courtney, you won't catch Courtney trying to pick up the clamshell.
No. So I'm just taking the backer off of our printable DTV. Okay. Taking this up. Somebody did ask, is this the same material we used for Make-a-thon? Yes, it is.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do now, I've got my design here. I'm bringing my sweatshirt over to my heat press. We have a piece of butcher's paper on here. Guys, y'all don't have to have that. Now, I am gonna put it over top of this garment just because we do sublimate with this heat press. And if you guys know what sublimation is and you've been around here, then you know that sometimes the ink will get on the top of the plate and will transfer to other garments. And we don't want that. So this is not necessary if you don't use sublimation, if you don't sublimate with your heat press.
Yeah.
This is just for me and my peace of mind to make sure there's nothing on this press that's going to go on my garment.
But if your crafters like us, multi-faceted, passionate crafters, you definitely will want to do that.
I'm just giving this a quick press because what a quick press does is, first of all, it irons out any wrinkles, but it's also going to absorb the moisture, okay? So all of that moisture is now out of that garment and will allow our design to stick so much better. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm laying down my monogram, and if you want to, you can grab a, we're just eyeballing it. You can grab a t-shirt ruler.
I wouldn't try to be doing that close to that.
We're eyeballing.
Really hot heat plate.
We're eyeballing. Remember, 311, and we're gonna do this for about 10 seconds.
Yes.
Because we're doing another press with our puff, okay?
Now, this heat press is an investment. You do not have to buy this one. You could buy a heat press similar to this for probably like 200-ish range. This one, I wanna say, I mean, it hurt my heart, y'all. It was I want to say 450. Yeah, I want to say 450. I don't think it was $3.99. I think it was $4.50. I think you'll have to check. So anyway,
somebody says if I go to the link, it says printable vinyl sticker paper. Is that right? No, it is not printable vinyl sticker paper. It is printable HTV.
Yes, be sure you're on the right supply list, and we'll double check that for you.
Look how beautiful.
That was so fast. So fast.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
I love it. Okay, so now we have this. We're gonna bring this over here and we're gonna start weeding this, and then we're gonna add our puff. Before we add our puff, this temperature has to come down. Now, one thing about puff, and this is why I feel like, this is where I feel a lot of people has issues with puff. So, oh no. Puff is actually pressed at a pretty low temperature for a very short amount of time, okay? One thing is, if you have tried puff before and you are not getting the correct results, I highly suggest going to Amazon, going to Walmart, going somewhere and getting you a digital point and click laser thermometer. Because although we spent a pretty penny on this heat press, there's a chance if I was having issues with this and my puff wasn't coming out right, it would probably be because this heat plate, there's an element in there that is either one, getting too hot, or two, not getting hot enough. Puff is very finicky and it has to be at the perfect temperature, and each brand has its own temperature.
If anyone remembers, I did a live stream when Puff first hit the scene. It was my first live stream from my home studio at my gorgeous new property with my amazing new home studio where I could craft whenever I wanted, and I still can. But it was the worst experience of my life. If that was your first time using Puff 2, I stand with you. All right. You will never be able to find that live stream. I've permanently removed it from the internet. And I'm never showing it to you. But I promise you, your puff did not turn out any worse than mine.
Now, this is another thing that you all are gonna have to do. Because we manually placed our letters, we need to cut this apart as well and manually place them, okay?
Gotcha.
And that's just because, now if I did this on the 11 by 16 DTV, I would not have to do this, but because we did a workaround for you all, for everyone wanting to do the, because like I said, the 8.5 by 11 is just more accessible.
Right.
That's why we're gonna have to cut this apart. And honestly, I like doing this anyway, so I can get a really good placement of my stuff. And I feel like, you know what? I may have placed them a little too close together. Or did it shrink? Give me just a second. It's like not wanting to line up perfectly, but we'll get it in just a minute.
Yes.
This is one thing you do have to be kind of like mindful of, is that there is a chance that your puff will shrink.
Yeah.
But no fear. Oh geez, I did put them too close together.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. Is this Lauren's last time using puff? No, I'm kidding.
Nope.
Just messing.
Nope. We're gonna do a workaround though.
Ooh, love a good workaround.
Y'all are gonna see me really crafting.
The group's really ready for a workaround, y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna do a workaround, but I'm gonna place this one down here in just a second.
Here in a moment, you're going to have to update the group on the sitch.
Okay.
Everyone stand. I'm having to go to full screen to take a look at what's going on overhead.
Okay. Do y'all see what I've done? You see how these are overlapping?
Yeah. What happened?
I placed my letters too close together. So, no big deal. Not a big deal.
Okay.
Not a big deal. What we're gonna do, if this happens to you, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna work around it. And what I'm probably gonna do, I'm just gonna cut the edge of this G off because the M touches the G. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I'm gonna do is I am going to place this here like this. Beautiful. Now, you do have to press it all together, okay? Now what I'm gonna do and what I want you guys to know and understand, all I have to do, I'm gonna cut off this overlap right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to, right there, like that. And I'm just gonna cut this bad boy off, like this. Now, before I cut the other side, I'm gonna line it back up and make sure I cut it in the right spot. Look, y'all see that? Now, I am going to grab, where's our heat tape? It should be on our cart.
Is it in the drawer?
Maybe. No. No, there's some right here. I'll just use this. We'll just cut it off ourselves. How's that?
Yeah.
So I am gonna tack this down with some heat tape, okay? That's really small heat tape. That's like tiny. Tiny. Here's some thicker stuff. Okay. Give me just a second. And this, honestly, in my opinion, this is what crafting is about, is figuring out a solution when you run into a problem.
Yep. Now, let me know how many of us are here that do not have a Cricut machine. If you do not own a Cricut, but you're here, let me know in the comments. I want to see if there's anyone here doing that. Because sometimes I know what it's like to like be considering a hobby. Like my latest one has been sourdough.
Okay, are y'all seeing what I'm doing?
Yeah, sorry, is there anything, you're just taping it all down, getting
And
it
I
all
was
ready.
cutting it off. I did cut off the overlay because I got my letters too close. Don't make my mistake, and don't put your letters too close if you use 8.5 by 11.
Love it.
I'll just be real honest with you guys. We did use the bigger one last time, so that's why it was like I didn't have this issue, or I would have known to have planned for this issue ahead of time. So that's why I'm just trying to take care of you guys. That's what's messed me up.
Yeah.
So we're just taping her down. Now, someone said if you did not cut the overlap off, what would happen? What would have happened is the overlap would have pressed onto the transfer sheet of the other, and it would have just not been good. So anyway, we've cut off the overlap. We've taped it all together. Work around, guys, because we're crafters. And we solve for issues like this.
Yes.
So we are pressing at 280. Once again, this is Caesar puff. You need to press at the right temperature for the right time. Too much heat is going to burn it. Too little heat, it's not gonna puff up as much. I just realized it's 313, holy crap. 280, 10 seconds. Let's go.
Love it. So fun. I love seeing everyone talk about this. I will say, you have to use your intuition. Remember how Lauren was like taping down the mat? That's the same way you gotta be on the Facebook Marketplace, y'all. You gotta use your intuition. You have to know when it's a scam, and you have to do some, oh, you did it! Yay! Love it.
I love when this happens.
Love it. So good.
Okay.
So good.
Look how pretty.
Woo-hoo. Woohoo! Also, whoever doesn't have a Cricut, I totally forgot. We're giving away a Cricut Maker 3 today. So, super fun. Super, super fun.
And there you go.
No way.
Look how cute.
Ooh! Ooh! Yay!
That's so pretty.
So fun. So fun.
So, if you wanted to do this and you don't want to do puff, the same process, you're just going to use regular HT.
Yep.
So, are you guys ready to see our project and make our shirt?
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Here, they can't even see it, can they?
No.
That's the whole
subtlety.
thing. That's the subtlety behind this. So let's go overhead, and you can see. Can they see it better there?
In real life, it's so cute, y'all. I like hope.
Hold it close. There you go.
Right there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so you all can see how it looks like it is faux embossed. You can really, really see it in person a whole
so
lot.
Cute. Yeah, you definitely can more in person.
This is such a, it's a vibe. Like it's a vibe for me. I love it. So we're going to recreate this tone on tone faux embossed sweatshirt today. First thing that I want to do is I'm going to turn on my heat press and get it up to the heat setting. Now, let's go overhead real quick and we'll just talk about the supplies because y'all, it's like 3 things, okay? Literally 3 things. So you're gonna need your shirt, and I did see some people in there earlier saying how black can be hard to color match as well. I agree, it can be, but I think your best bet is if you have a specific color you're wanting to go for. Let's say you're wanting to use a blue or a lilac or whatever. I highly suggest taking a scrap shirt or a scrap rag, whatever, and pressing your puff vinyl and then taking that puff vinyl to the store and matching it up with the color of shirts that they have.
Yes.
Okay? And yes, you can do this on any shirt or any sweatshirt. It does not have to be this brand. We are using the Comfort Color brand, but y'all, puff will adhere to any fabric. So let's go ahead. This is the puff vinyl that we are going to be using today. And yes, this is the Hobby Lobby brand. And y'all, I'm pretty impressed with how well it puffed up.
Yeah.
Like I said, like Alicia said earlier, no matter what puff vinyl you use, you are going to get somewhat of a brainy effect, but you get less of the brains if you press it perfectly. So the first start in pressing something perfectly is checking your times and temperatures. So this sheet is what comes wrapped around the front of this puff vinyl. Do not throw this away. Same thing with, I know that I've seen it with Tech Wrap, lots of brands. This is going to have your information on the back. I highly suggest that you read your instructions on all different material. This is set the heat press to 284 degrees. I mean, y'all, they got it down to not just 280, not 285, 284. I'm surprised it doesn't say 284.3 or something.
Yeah.
So, if this is what they say to puff their puff vinyl on, that is what I'm going to set my press at, okay? They are the ones that have spent hours testing different materials, finding different formulations, finding the correct heat press setting. So go with whatever brand, whatever the temperature of that brand says, okay? So that said 284. I'm gonna come back over here and set my 284.
Kim says it's a super classic look. Think Guess brand in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, that is
All day.
exactly what we were going for.
Yes.
I
I
love that.
actually remember my mom having a Guess sweater, tone on tone. Like, I don't know if it was puff vinyl. Maybe it was puff vinyl. It was tone on tone though. And it said Guess really big across the chest. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Nostalgia.
Yep. So after you have that set, my next thing, and this is just personal advice from me to you. If you do not have a laser thermometer that you can point and shoot at your heat press, I know this is gonna sound silly, but if you are having issues with puff vinyl and it's not puffing properly, you have your heat press set to exactly what they tell you to, and after time and time again it's still not doing something right, that means your heat element is off. That means this plate right here is off. Guys, every single heat press is different. The mechanics inside the heat press, something may be off a little bit. It's just the same as you may have a Honda Accord and I may have a Honda Accord, same year, same color, same everything. You always have issues out of your car, I don't. It's just it's the way that sometimes mechanics work. So even if you spend a lot of money on your press, I highly suggest getting a laser thermometer if it is not working for you. That way you can check the actual temperature of your heat plate. There is a good chance. Kim says infrared thermometers are about $10 at Harbor Freight. There you go. Beautiful. That's what you need. Because a lot of times either a heat press, the temperature will be way higher than what you have set, or it can be lower. So I have seen a lot of people's puff that I have seen on Cricut official website, in our membership, inside our Facebook group. A lot of it looks overpressed, meaning that you've pressed it too long or it's too hot. Heat plays such a big part of this. So
If you're using an auto press, you're gonna need extra pressure.
you are going to need extra pressure, and you can find that in the form of a pressing pillow or a pressing mat.
Right, like that little squishy thing that we have on the base of our heat press, if you could sandwich another one on top of it, would give it that extra pressure. So that's like a silicone mat.
So this is like, and I'll show you the thickness, go overhead. This is how thick this mat is. If you have an auto press, what you will need to do is get another one of these mats, or a heating or a pressing pillow is what they're called. They're like, we've actually got one in here. I'll show you what a pressing pillow looks like. Give me this is a small one. Like, this is a pressing pillow, and we'll go back overhead. You can see it's squishy. It has a Teflon sheet surrounding it. So basically what this does is, if you add this here, and let's say this was an auto press, what this would do is it would make this press have more pressure. So if you have the HTV Raw Auto Press or the Cricut Auto Press and you are not getting the amount of pressure that you need for your puff vinyl, I suggest a pressing pillow or an extra mat just to have that, get that pressure up, okay? So we've gone over our supplies, mat, puff vinyl, shirt. Real hard, guys, real hard. We have set our heat press to the exact temperature that our puff vinyl said. For the Hobby Lobby brand, we have set it to 284. For other brands, I know that we have a video comparing, I know 3 StarCraft, Tech Wrap, Caesar puff vinyl. You can check that out if you want to know more. We even have a puff vinyl reference guide, guys.
Yep.
Do we not?
We
on
do.
Our website.
We sure do.
We have a puff vinyl reference guide that you can check out if you get a different brand than the one that we are working with today. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and hop over to our share screen. And we are going to start the process of adding our words to our shirt. Okay, so the font that we're going to be using today, Cricut has already told me that we don't have it on this computer. We're going to go back to Maker's Gonna Learn. I say back, we've not been there today. We are going to go to Maker's Gonna Learn. And the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to come over here to my dashboard and I'm going to show you guys that puff vinyl reference sheet. This is a portion of the website that I feel like more people need to take advantage of. First of all is your dashboard. Here, you're going to find so many things here in your dashboard, but our resource library. What I wanted to show you guys is this puff vinyl reference sheet, which we actually we might need to update since we have used this 405
we'll add
and
to
the Super
The
Puff.
metallic, yeah.
The
Super
metallic
Puff.
Super Puff. So we will update that pretty quick. But we have the 3 brands that we initially started out trying was the Caesar, Tech Wrap, StarCraft. You have your heat settings here and your cut settings here and then your heat settings, guys. Look how easy. We did it for you. So if you lose your stuff, you can come back here. Love that. So let's go back this way. And we are going to go to our font section. So when choosing a font for this, I highly suggest, yes, Tool and Vinyl Supply. First of all, I would like to order some more from Tool and Vinyl. They're the ones that carry the Super Puff, but I've also heard a lot of people talk about Atlanta Vinyl Company.
Yes.
If anybody in here, if anybody on our live has used Atlanta Vinyl Company, I have heard and I have seen posts about their puff being phenomenal, like their regular standard puff being really good.
Okay.
So we will add that to our list, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to our share screen. For this specific one, I think it's going to look the best if you have a somewhat of a thicker font. But also we're looking at more of like a serif style font. So what I mean by a serif style font, you see how this has like the little, I'll make it bigger so we can explain. And Alicia, you're the font queen. So if I'm explaining this wrong, tell me. I'm trying to open this up so we can look at it.
Okay.
Oh, everybody's saying Atlanta Vinyl is amazing.
Okay, well we need to order some then. Or order something from them.
I know.
Are y'all just using their puff vinyl or are you using regular vinyl?
I'm curious. Okay, so what I mean by a serif, do y'all see at the bottom of these letters how there's like a little table, I guess you could say. Like a little shelf at the bottom of and tops of these. That's what I'm looking for. That's a serif font. So you want somewhat of a thicker font. We were going for a serif. Now, is that what you have to do? No, guys, you can do whatever you want. You do what tickles your fancy. But I'm just showing you how we went through. I thought like this one might be cute, but then there's all those little things in the middle, so I didn't much care for that.
You gotta think like when you put this puff on there, it's gonna blow up, so any details kind of disappear. unless they're big details, like
Yes.
big prominent, like if you use like Saturday night or where it has like the curlies, like they're so big that you can notice the detail. But if you're using something like Dapper, all
So,
of those little
exactly.
serifs are gonna disappear.
I was about to say, in Dapper, all of the little inside pieces, even if you weeded those out, your puff is gonna puff up to where it doesn't even look like there's anything there.
Yeah.
Okay. Atticus is another one that you have to kind of be careful with. These letters over here look great, but that A has such a small opening inside the A. Like, you just have to be careful with which types of fonts that you pick for with puff vinyl. But one cool thing you can do about our website is you can type out what you want your shirt to say, and I want it to be in all caps, so I'm just gonna go ahead and type it in all caps, and you can scroll down here and pick which font you want to use.
Love
which
it.
I love doing that instead of trying to imagine what a font would look like. So that's what I did for this. Substantial was the font that we went with this specific project. So to download a font from our website, what you're gonna do is you're gonna click this arrow pointing down here. What it's gonna then do is it's going to download on, maybe, where is it going? It's taking it forever today.
Is it just sitting in your downloads in your Finder?
I don't even think it's done that. See, it's still loading in the top.
That's weird.
I know. So anyway, I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna see if it's in my Finder. Downloads? No,
Recents?
it's not even there.
Wonder why it's taking forever.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Now let's try to, am I signed in? Yep. Download. Oh, there it goes.
Interesting.
We might have to have somebody look at that.
I'll just say I'm on Atlanta Vinyl right now, just perusing, and they have the Gildan heavy cotton t-shirts for $3.62, like blank Gildan t-shirts,
That's a good deal.
and their hoodies are $12.99. Yeah, that's very cheap, and Gildan's good.
There you go, guys.
Yep.
Okay, so back in Design Space, one thing that if you are new here, if you've just downloaded a font onto your computer, Design Space is not going to recognize that font. So let me show you what I mean. If I go up here to font and go to my system fonts, and I know I want to use the Substantial font, I'm gonna start typing in that word. You see there's no search results for that, right? So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you save your project first, come up here to view, you're gonna reload Design Space. What that is going to do, and we're just gonna hit save. What that is gonna do is that is going to recognize all of the new fonts that you have downloaded onto your computer. So now you can find all of your fonts in the system fonts. So what we're gonna do now, go back to text. We're gonna go to our fonts, over here to our systems. Now this time, when I search for Substantial, it pops up right there. Beautiful. So now all we have to do is type in our word. And now you can see they look a little bit different, don't they? I will show you what we did. So once you have sized your word up, down, whatever, we're gonna go overhead and we are going to measure the area that we want to work with. Now, for this specific project, you can actually do it longer than 12 inches if you want to, because you'll just have to use a 12 by 24 inch mat. Because it is so skinny, if you want it to be longer, perfect. That would be phenomenal. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to measure the area that we have to work with. Another thing you really want to be conscious about when you are putting words on a shirt is, are you making this shirt for a female, or are you making this shirt for someone who has a larger chest? Let's just say that. Are you making this shirt for someone who has a larger chest or someone who does not have a large chest? that has a lot to do with the placement and how big I make something. If I was making it for myself, I'm actually gonna go probably about 10 to 11 inches at most. Just because if I get past that, it's gonna start like running under my arms, which is not a cute look.
Right.
So you just kind of have to be aware about those things. Generally speaking, this is a size large shirt. You know what? I think it's gonna look really good sitting around 10 and a half or 11. I mean, if you wanted to go up to 11 and a half, you can, but I don't think we're gonna need the 12 by 24 inch mat, okay?
Yep.
So once we have the length that we know our word can be, we're gonna go back to Design Space. Here we have it, it is 12 and a half. We're gonna bring it down to about, we'll go ahead and bring it down to about 11 and a half or so. But one thing that I did do that, guys, I feel like I have talked about it. It's a cardinal rule.
I already
Don't
know what
do
you're doing.
it.
I already know.
I did unlock it and I stretched this bad boy just a little bit. But
It doesn't look bad.
But
It
this
doesn't.
font, I feel like can take it.
You can.
I'm not stretching it a lot, but I wanted it to be, because it was like an inch and a half tall. I wanted it to be at least 2 inches, which is about right there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that looks good.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I wouldn't have known.
See, you
You know,
would have
some
known.
fonts you can really tell.
Some fonts
Like
you can
scripts,
tell.
you can tell
Yes.
really a lot, but
Yes. So anyway, this is, I'm just gonna hide this old guy. We're gonna use the new guy because that is the width I want it. So once you're done there, guys, that super hard tutorial today in Design Space. You've downloaded a font and typed out your word.
yep, that's it.
That's it. That's literally all we're doing. Now we're gonna go to make it. Now from there, we're gonna mirror our design because we are cutting it on heat transfer vinyl. Then we're gonna go to continue. We are using our Explore Series 3 machine today. And we'll just go ahead and go overhead. Let me move this out of the way. Oh no, I might have to use this mat. It's sad that we went and bought a bunch of mats. I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx us.
I don't like opening the new mats. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Okay, one thing that I want to show you guys. First of all, what have we in the past always said when it comes to heat transfer vinyl? What have we said about the shiny side and the matte side? We have always said shiny side down.
Yes.
Because 9 times out of 10, the shiny side has been the carrier sheet.
Right.
This is something that I feel like everybody needs to start checking, and something that I feel like everybody needs to start getting it in your head. We're not saying shiny side down anymore. And the reason that I say this is because Mary Catherine, who has been with us forever, she has just started like prepping more of our projects, like helping us in the craft room, which she's not done a lot of. So she said, oh, this is HTV. It goes shiny side down, right? And she went like this and she plopped it down. I was like, yep, you know what? That's normally what we do say. But I want you guys to look at this. This is why I want every one of us to get out of the habit of shiny side down. Here is our shiny side. Here is our matte side. Are y'all seeing this?
Yeah.
Look,
They trick you.
the matte side is the carrier sheet. So with this one, we can't say shiny side down. I can't even, there we go. Carrier sheet is the matte side. Puff vinyl is the shiny side.
Yep. And that's been pretty much across the board for all the puff vinyls that we've used.
That has been across the board for all puff vinyls. You are correct.
That we've used so far.
Yes, it's just, it's been one of those things. One of them, though, I feel like did have a shiny carrier sheet, but I don't remember who it was.
We've done Tech Wrap, StarCraft, Caesar, and 405. Was it Tech Wrap?
Tech Wrap was one that you pressed twice, wasn't it?
One of them, yeah. So a couple of these puff vinyls you have to press twice.
Yeah.
Which are the ones I don't like to use.
I'm not a big fan of...
One and done for me. That's why I like Caesar so much, which y'all know that. We love Caesar. But this 405, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I mean, it's getting the job done. It looks good. It was one of those that we could go pick it up. So
yeah, it's right up the street from us.
Yep. Yeah, you can label them. Donna says after we told them that she checks every single one. I mean, you have to anymore.
Yeah. And I'll say
HTV Ront is very bad. No, I won't
you
say
took the words right out of my mouth.
I won't say it's not that it's bad vinyl. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it is notorious for it being different.
It's a combination of either matte or shiny carrier sheets. And you just can't know unless you look.
Yep. Okay, so all I'm doing is cutting this on everyday iron on default pressure. First thing I'm gonna need is a, oh, here's one, just kidding. I was about to say a blade.
Oops.
Oh, nope, there's not one in there.
It's not in the thing?
Nope, because there was not a blade in your machine earlier and Mary Catherine needed to use your machine.
My machine didn't have a blade?
Your machine did not have a blade.
Interesting.
Interesting.
BRB.
I struggled with Caesar vinyl on what side to cut. Once I figured it out, yeah, you really have to check. You have to check every single one now. It's just like, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and load this while we're waiting on. I'm gonna go ahead and unload it too. It loaded.
Over there.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this bad guy in there and press the play button.
Alrighty.
Now, while that is cutting, I'm gonna take the tag off this and I'm gonna pre-press our shirt for a couple reasons, okay? First reason I want to pre-press my shirt is I want to get the wrinkles out. Like I don't want there to be any wrinkles when I lay down my puff vinyl. But the next reason that I really like pre-pressing my shirt is because I like getting all of the extra moisture out of the fabric. And that really helps adhere your HTV down a lot better. If you get that moisture out of your, out of the fabric, it adheres. The adhesion on the fibers are better.
You gotta think, if there's moisture in there, it's not gonna adhere as well. Like,
yeah,
that just makes sense, you know.
So we're just giving it a quick little pre-press.
A little tap tap.
A little tap tap. Doesn't have to be very long. You can see it got the wrinkles out. It's good. It's warm. Love it. Okay. I just went all out and didn't even check to see if it cut. I just unloaded immediately.
YOLO.
YOLO. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut across. Guys, I can't see this. Okay, we're good. We're good.
It is hard to see. Listen, we've got some puff vinyl out there, like colors that I really want to use. I just need to make it. We bought shirts. We've like made a plan to make shirts to wear when we film and stuff, and I feel like they're just sitting out there not being made. Mm-hmm. I bought some like cobalt blue to put on a gray sweatshirt. Never made it. Never made it.
I think we ended up having to use the gray sweatshirt for something else too.
Did we?
Maybe we didn't.
You can, if you can weed it, use what you can to weed it. I used a stick pin for years upon years to weed. So I didn't even know weeding tools were a thing until about 2.5 years ago.
Well, there you go.
So you can really grow far in a couple years.
You can really
evolve.
You can evolve, that's for sure. Okay, so we have our cute little homebody word weeded out.
Cutesy.
There you go. Can you see it better there? Mm-hmm. Love it, love it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, there it is. I've got a t-shirt ruler. I'm going to place the t-shirt ruler in the middle. Now, one thing that I love to do, and we're gonna go back overhead. I love to take my design, whether it's words, whatever, and I'm going to line up the very edge of that word, and I'm gonna crease this right here in the middle. Okay, y'all see this? Now I have a crease exactly where the middle point of this is. Now I did not crease up here at the E. I actually creased this above it and this below it. I don't want to crease my actual final. It looks like it's creased, but it's not. So now what I can do with that middle point is I can bring it back over here and I can line it up with the center point, center line on your t-shirt ruler.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now this, honestly, it stays down. If you want to use some heat tape, you can. You do not have to. I am, however, first of all, gonna check this for sublimation.
For anything.
Literally for anything. The only reason I'm doing this is because if this was not a white shirt, if this was black, I would press it no problem. I don't know what is on the top of this press. So
Just
we're protecting.
Safety first.
Safety first, always. This is I'm pretty sure it's a 10-second press, but let me double check. Listen, even the experts revert back to instructions, guys. Don't be so ashamed that you won't revert back to instructions.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
10 seconds. I wanted to double check myself. So 10 seconds, 284, very firm pressure.
Beautiful.
And literally no more than 10 seconds. Like, I need to stop talking so I can watch this.
And listen, if you all so you can have some Makers Gonna Learn merch in your craft room. So
And then we'll bring it over here. And ta-da!
I love how the transfer sheet just comes right off with puff
I
vinyl.
know.
It just flops off.
It just flops off.
Yeah, it totally
It
detaches.
completely flops off. Now, this is a pretty good puff. I feel like this is a pretty good puff. I am going to grab one real quick that I think that I actually did too low of a temperature on, and I want to show you what it looks like if something is too low. It's not that it doesn't look bad, guys. It is just this, I want you all to see the difference, okay? So, this one right here, can they see this, Sadie? This, it has puffed. It does not look bad. It was too low of a temperature. And you can see that because it's just not puffed near as much. Like, you can't see it from the side. I don't know. Anyway, this means your temperature is too low. Now, if it starts flattening back out from this portion of it being brained up, then your temperature is way too hot. And you've just gone straight through. Does the puff crack after washing? I personally have not I've not had any issues with puff that I have a t-shirt. The purple MGL shirt. I don't know if you all have seen it. Sometimes on videos I'll wear, it's a purple short sleeve shirt and it has white MGL with like the middle out of it. That's a puff shirt that we did the very first time we did puff.
It was like our first trial.
It was like the very first time we did puff. Y'all, I've worn that shirt so many times, washed it so many times, no issues.
Me neither. And you know, I hear a lot of people that are like, my puff vinyl never stays on, and like, I don't know if it's the type you're using or maybe the adhesion process that you're using, but I think that brand definitely plays a role. Are you pre-pressing the moisture out of your shirt so that you get better adherence? Like, there's so many different things that go into puff. Like, you kind of have to practice and like perfect it. So if you find you're having issues, keep changing stuff until you get the right formula for whatever vinyl you're using.
Yeah, you definitely can't see that from the front.
It's so cute.
It's so cute,
I
though.
love it. I love it.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate this layering. So
cute.
Because Alicia did the video all about puff vinyl, our next question was, how can we achieve, like, can we layer puff vinyl, HTV on top of puff vinyl. So we tested, and what do you know? We can, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I am a baseball mom through and through, and this was the design that we came up with. Now, this is not something that you don't have to use like the baseball laces. You can use whatever other element that you want. You could even, if we have any softball moms in here, they have a highlighter yellow puff vinyl that would be so cute on a black t-shirt with red laces to make it look like a softball.
I love that, actually.
So many different things that you can do with this. But let's go overhead so that you all can really see like the texture of this puff vinyl and how well it has done on this shirt. I'm obsessed.
It's so cute.
Like, I don't know what else to say other than I'm obsessed. I love it. I love it.
And I think they're coming out with like patterned puff vinyl. So there's potential that you could find like baseball patterned puff vinyl, but like we didn't have it, and we were like just trying to get that. Like, we wanted it to look like a baseball, and we thought, why not? HTV can be layered. Why couldn't you layer puff with HTV? Like,
so we had somebody say soccer mom here. There you could even like find a soccer pattern and do the white puff vinyl and do like the black soccer ball pattern.
Yes.
You could do baseball or basketball with like orange puff vinyl and black laces or black, parts of the basketball.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that you can do with this, and really the supplies are pretty minimal. So since we're overhead, obviously we have our puff vinyl. Now, I did order puff vinyl in the 12 by 24 sheets. You don't have to get the 12 by 24 sheets. I just felt like this was going to give me a more of an option. Like, if I wanted to do a longer word rather than just 12 inches, it gave me more area to work with. So I do have this. Like I said, you don't have to have 12 by 24 inch puff vinyl. Just 12 by 12 will be fine. It's just your size is going to have to be smaller. And then we just have some regular HTV here that we're going to layer on top of this puff vinyl. And then I have my t-shirt. Now today, I'm actually going to be making a little bit of a smaller t-shirt. This is, I'm going to be making a shirt for my little boy today, Asher. So I'm just going to put his name on there. But what I'm going to show you guys is start to finish what I did, how I sized everything, the fonts and cut files that I used, and how I got all of my laces to line up so that I don't have to go in there and individually place them on top of these letters.
Yeah.
Okay? So we have our t-shirt, puff vinyl, regular HTV, and then I brought in a 12-inch and a 12 by 24-inch mat. Once again, you do not have to have a 12 by 24-inch mat. This is, and really and truly, I probably won't use the 12 by 24-inch mat because this is going to be on a youth size shirt. So I'll probably just need the 12 by 12. But if you are working with the 12 by 24-inch piece of puff HTV, I would probably suggest you have a 12 by 24-inch mat. But other than that,
I like my designs on my shirts to fill up the whole shirt.
So we'll just go ahead and hop over to the share screen. And you can see here that I have my mom. This is already set up, sized, whatever. And I was working on Asher's name here. And actually, it's in two separate layers right now. So, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna work with you guys start to finish and walk you through how we do this, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hop over to the Maker's Gonna Learn website. And since we're already here on fonts, I'll just show you what font we are using. We are not using Saturday Night. I got confused. We are using...
Can you tell we use that one a lot?
Groovy Moves.
We also use that one a lot.
We do use Groovy Moves a lot. It has become a kind of an office favorite here. We do love using the the kind of retro fonts right now, they're super trendy. However, I want to show you guys another font that you could use for this if you are creating this, let's say for a little boy or a dad or whatever. I feel like Groovy Moves is a little bit more on the girly side.
Yes.
But another one that you all could use, I think Brock the Jock
Love this font.
would be really, really good. Really and truly, you need to use a block letter font, so a thicker font, no matter what you all use. You don't have to use Groovy Moves, you don't have to use those, but if you are doing this, it's going to work best with a blocky font, something that is super, super thick. So we'll just go back. Like I said, we are going to be using Groovy Moves today. If you all do not know how to download the fonts from our website, all you have to do, click this down arrow here. It will pop up in the bottom. It is going to pop up as a zip file. You're going to double click that, and then you are going to double click it again, and then you'll hit install font. Now, this is already installed into our font book, so I'm not going to install. If you are not working with a Mac or an iMac and you are working with a Windows computer, it's the same process. Unzip that file, install it into your character map. Super, super easy. Now, we're going to go back to our website. We're going to go to our cut file section, and we are just going to search baseball. So, just so you all know, there are multiple cut files within our library that you can use for this project. So for example, you can use this out of your league because we're gonna get rid of everything else but these laces. You can use this word love. It has those red laces in there. One thing you can't do, this cut file right here, if you notice, all of this is black, which automatically tells me that this is probably all gonna be one layer. So separating these laces out is gonna be almost impossible. Like it would be very, very hard. So that is one that would not be a very good one to use. You have this one here. You could use those. Those are wavy laces. You could do that if you want to. Hay batter, we can see that these laces are not connected to this black. That would be one that's easily used. But I want to show you the one that I don't know where it's at.
I used the wavy flag laces when I was testing.
So we have one in our actual cut file library on Cricut that is just this baseball. So we're just going to use the out of your league. So we're going to download that. It is going to come in as a zip file, so we need to open that up. If you do have a zip file, you need to unzip it before you upload it into Design Space. So once we have unzipped that file, we're going to go back to Cricut. We're going to go to Upload. We're going to upload an image. I like to browse. Some people drag and drop. We're going to open up this zip file, and I'm wanting the SVG version. So we're going to open that up, upload that, and then it will be ready to use. Once we have uploaded that, we're going to add this to our canvas. And you can see here, if you look at our layers panel, I know I have a lot of layers here. So y'all, let me just go ahead and do this real quick so we break down our layers panel. So out of your league, right here, we're going to make this bigger so you all can see. So you can see that we are working with 3 different layers on this cut file. We have our black layer, we have our league layer, and then we have our red layer, or laces. So we want to get rid of everything but the laces because the laces are what we're going to be working with. So literally all I'm going to do, you don't have to, the cool thing about this update with Cricut that they've done recently is you can work with each singular layer here without having to ungroup the file. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select each layer that I do not want, starting with league, and I'm just going to hit delete, backspace on my keyboard. Same thing here. I don't want this black layer, delete it out. And then here is what we are left with. This is what we want to use. This is what we are working with. So now we have manipulated that file to extract the pieces that we want to work with, And now what I want to do, because I even want to take it a step further, and I want to work with the top lace. So let me rotate this around for you guys so we can. So I want to work with this top lace separate from this bottom lace. So what I like to do, and some people like to do this differently, it's going to be completely up to you guys. You can bring in a square, slice it out, whatever. What I have been doing recently is just coming and like duplicating it. So now I have 2 sets, and now I'm just going to contour. So the first set, I'm going to contour out one side, done. And the second set, I'm going to contour out the other side. So now I have both the laces, but I can manipulate and move them separate.
This is a perfect example because me and you always have this conversation of why you would still need the slice function and as well as the combine functions.
Yes.
This is perfect because you cannot use exclude, subtract,
Yes.
intersect. You can't use that to separate those layers, but you can use the contour or the slice
Yes.
here. And you're not going to lose the other half of the image.
And you're really going to see where slice is going to come in handy when we get into manipulating and getting these laces where we want them, okay? So once we have our laces ready to go, I've kind of got them to the side, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to grab our text box. This is coming up click clack automatically because that's what I used yesterday. If you all missed yesterday's video, that's definitely one to go back and rewatch. We did some really great teacher gifts for you guys.
They're so cute.
And me and Tanner actually crafted together at the craft table, so it was really fun.
We need to do that more often. I think that I love that
I
setup.
agree. Like, that's something that we talked about yesterday. Did you all enjoy having 2 people present crafting at the same time? Or do you all really like focusing in on one person crafting? Definitely drop us your comments. Let us know, because it might be something we like change up every now and then and have 2 people crafting together.
And we actually started kind of incorporating it in our master classes some when we were doing file releases, but we weren't crafting.
No, we were just kind of sitting here,
But it was like
our little news desk, like talking to you guys.
Yeah.
So, back to our share screen. We are going to go to our fonts. We're looking at system fonts, and we are going to be using Groovy Moves today. So I'm going to pull in Groovy Moves. I'm going to size it up for you guys. Obviously, we are not going to cut it this big, okay? We're just so you guys can see this a lot better. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to type in my name, whether that be mom, dad, someone's name, whatever. So we'll just go with Asher just because that is who I'm making this for today is for my little boy. 9 times out of 10, you all know if you've been around me and Alicia, one of the golden rules when you're manipulating stuff is you do not touch that lock button when you're resizing, right?
When you're resizing fonts or shapes. Any.
Well, today we are going to be breaking that rule.
Yeah.
Because there are some fonts that I think, depending on your design, look a little bit better when they're taller and skinnier almost. So back to design space. Let's zoom in, and I'm gonna size Asher down, and I want to show you guys right next to each other. So we're going to zoom in here. Do you all see the difference here and here?
Yes.
I feel like, I'm not saying like I think this bottom looks good, but for the design that we are working with, because a t-shirt is a lot, most of the time they're always taller than they are wider. And because, especially if you have a longer name, what you're gonna do is you're gonna unlock it, and then we're just gonna stretch it just a little bit and pull it in until you're happy. And I know that's hurting your heart, Alicia, and I'm sorry.
But it does look good.
But you can't say that it doesn't look good.
No, it does. It looks really good, but I'm like, be careful.
You don't want to do it too much. You don't want to do it too much.
But
but I think it looks good.
We'll allow it for this tutorial, but if we catch you guys doing that in another tutorial, we're coming for you.
Yeah, no. This is not an all the time thing. This is just a few times every so often.
There's got to be some exceptions, some places.
Yeah, we will, this is the one exception that we will work with, okay? So, now that we have our name sized the way that we want it, okay, you can now resize without having to unlock, but I still just really like the unlock. That way I can manipulate from the corner and not have to do here and then in and then up. When I unlock it, I can just hit this one button and go all directions. I can swivel all directions. That is why I still like the unlock. So once it's done, we're gonna lock this bad boy back together, okay? We're locked together. Now what I'm going to do, the next step, and this is a lot more important than you think, and you'll see why when it comes to placing our laces, okay? We are going to go to advanced, and we are ungrouping this layer to letters. We want all of these different letters to be individual, but we're still not gonna move them. Actually, looking at this, I may take this R and use my keyboard and move it out just a tad, because it was way too close to the E. So now what we're gonna do, now that we have all of our letters ungrouped to letters, we are going to take our laces and I'm gonna move them to the front of our layers, so they're gonna be in front. And before I start doing anything, I can already tell you these laces are a little big for these letters right now. I'm just gonna size them down a little bit. And before I start placing them on each individual letter, I'm gonna duplicate that one and this one, and you'll understand why here in a minute. Leave those up in the corner because we're not ready for them yet, but duplicating them is very important, okay? If you're taking notes, duplicate your laces before we move on to the next step. Now, I'm gonna be able to take my laces here and I can manipulate them and turn them and move them however I want to along this letter, and then move this one up here. We may turn this one a smidgen there. And I like, if you look at this one, I like having the laces like facing all different directions.
Yeah, me too. I think it looks good like that.
I think it looks good. It's not super uniform, but I still think it gives the effect of like the baseball.
Right.
And I wouldn't want them the same all the way across. I don't think the same all the way across would look good because all of the letters are different. So now that we have, let's say, these laces placed where we want to, we are going to select one set of laces, and then, so there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can, Carol said, I just learned dragging those layers to the top of the layers panel moves it to the front. Yes. So let's talk about how I just did that. So before, our laces were back here. Let's move this one down. So you see how I can't see those laces behind that A, because on our layers panel, we have Asher on the top of those laces. So you don't have to you can go to arrange, bring to front, and it moves it up. Or you can just take your layers here, click, and drag to the front.
Honestly, it's a little bit faster.
I like clicking and dragging.
Because you can like place it exactly where you want it on your canvas. Like
Yes.
if you wanted it between two layers, like you could do that, or you
Yes.
can put it wherever you want.
Yes. So what I was doing is we are selecting our bottom, but what I was saying is there are a couple different ways you can do this. You can click and then hit Command and click your second layer. So you can see here, you can do it on your canvas or you can do it from your layers panel. Because we have so many layers here, you can see working with your layers panel when you have so many layers can sometimes get confusing. So you can click and then Command, click the other one, or for this one, we can just drag and drop here in the corner and I have the two layers selected that I wanted. So this is where the slice function is going to come in super, super handy. And I know when I was creating this, there are two different ways that you can do this. You can duplicate the name and then slice out your laces and then bring them to center. But what I want to show you guys here is just the way that my brain works, not necessarily the way your brain is gonna work, okay?
I already know how you're about to do this, and I think I did mine differently. But I'm glad. I'm glad you're doing it. This is probably the way normally that I would do it, but I did it differently like recently.
Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you both ways you can do this. I really don't want to confuse you guys. But
Just do it your way. Just do it your way. And then we can tell them the other way.
Well, let me just do this. Let me do this, duplicate this, and we're just gonna pull it down here.
You'll have a backup at least.
And we'll just have a backup. We're going to unite this, and then we'll just hide this, okay? And I'm gonna pull it down to the bottom. That way it's out of the way. Oh, I brought it into that unite. Okay, this way it's out of the way. It's not gonna be there. Just joke, just kidding. Okay.
There she is.
I think I hid the wrong Asher. I did. I need to pull this one up.
Please hold.
Please hold. Please hold while I connect your
Stacy
call.
says, well, sorry, I have to admit I manipulate fonts like that all the time. Whatever works best to make it fit. That's true.
Yes, listen, Stacy, we get it. But there are some fonts when people will manipulate them, they don't look good like that. So
There's no rule. There's no rule. It's just a pet peeve of ours. And
Yeah.
and if I'm sure that your projects look great. Hopefully we did.
Sure,
not
they
mean
look
it.
absolutely amazing. So what we're doing now is we are selecting one set of laces and the A, okay? What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to slice that, not touching anything, come back up here, drag and drop the second set of laces. Oh, you see I grabbed that S and the A, here you go. And we're gonna slice again. So now we have all of these slice results that are outside that A that I want to delete. So this is a slice result I want to delete, gone. This is a slice result I want to delete, gone. Okay? Now, what I have been doing is grabbing that A, and this is where slice comes in handy, where the other combined functions do not. Once again, this is just how my brain works. This is not necessarily how you all have to do it. So what I did is grab that A that I just sliced out, hold the Command or Control key on your keyboard, select the second like gray layer that we sliced out, and then select that third layer we sliced out. And then I come down here to combine and I unite them back together. You can see they're back together, and then I just merge those layers so that now I have the A, and I can move those slice results back in front of the A.
Becky, I did not know that's what you were about to do.
What did you think I was about to do?
I don't know, but I did not know you were going to merge that letter back together. That was,
Yes.
I like that little, that's a hack, y'all.
Yes, I like merging that letter back together. So
Rather than duplicating it and having like two separate images
Yes.
of the same letter.
which, once you merge, just so you guys know, go back to camera one. I don't know if that is new with Design Space, merging that layer, that A back together. That's gonna do the same thing as weld.
Right.
So I could have actually just hit weld
Yeah.
and done the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's just how it's. I didn't realize that merge layers was a thing. So I just saw that a while ago. So really and truly, I could have cut out another step and just hit weld. Or the other way that you can do this, and we'll do this with the S. So this is why I duplicated these laces, so I have them ready to go with the S. So now I'm gonna duplicate them again and keep them up. I don't need that one. We're gonna duplicate the top one and duplicate the bottom one again, so they're up there in the corner. And then I'm going to come in here, move this lace and manipulate it where I want it. And then bring this guy in, manipulate it where I want it. And then same thing, selecting those two layers, we are gonna slice. And then selecting these two layers, we're gonna slice again. So now, one thing you could do is you could actually delete out all of the gray and unwanted red layers, and you're just left with that which would fit into the S, and then you could do the whole name that way, combine all your laces, and then bring it over top of that second Asher.
Do you want to know what I would do?
What?
I don't know if I would do it now because I like your technique, but what I would have done is got all of the letters, placed all of my laces, and then selected all of it and hit exclude, because you can exclude like 50 layers. There's like no limit. The only thing would be where your lace overlaps your H. Like you would have to make sure that your laces aren't touching the other letters, which might be hard because the letters are so close together.
Yes.
But that's just, I don't want to confuse you guys. That's just what my brain was doing. But I really, really like this technique. This is great.
Yeah.
So there's many ways you can get the result. Like, don't feel obligated to one direction because you guys can do lots of different ways.
There are 10,000 ways to skin a cat.
Right.
We all know this. Mm-hmm. But now you can see we can place them all individually.
I love it.
Okay.
It's looking good.
So this is just a rinse and repeat process. Before you do that, you want to duplicate. Make sure you duplicate your layers. Duplicate that guy. He's going to come up there, and then we're just going to select those two, slice. Select the bottom two, slice. We're going to weld these gray layers back together, and then delete out the red layers we don't want. Bring those two layers up front.
And if you all are feeling lost at all, one thing is that this will be on the channel so you guys can go back and rewatch it as many times as you need to. Lauren's about to repeat this process 2 more times. So at that point, she'll have it done 5 times. So you guys are going to be able to see it done multiple times. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let you do the next letter fully through.
Okay. So I was afraid that this was going to happen, trying to show you the 10 different ways you can get to this point. So let's go back to our first way. I want to make sure, Kelly, that I bring you up to where we're at. I don't want you all to feel lost. I don't want anybody to feel lost, because once you see and understand working with layers and bringing those back together, merging them together, it really is, it's my favorite way to manipulate things. So I know we've done a lot of duplicating. We've done a lot of slicing. We've done a lot of welding. So let's talk about what each function does so that you understand it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person, if you tell me how to do something, I'm sure I could recreate it, but I've not learned how to do it because I don't understand it. So I want you guys to understand what it is doing while we do it, so that hopefully in the future you're like, okay, Lauren said that the slice function is like this, so I can take this and do this, okay?
Right.
So we're going to slow it down. We have 2 more letters that we're going to work with. And because the pressing and the cutting part, it's a breeze. It takes no time at all, okay? So we have our set of laces. Before we manipulate these to fit these on the E, I'm going to duplicate. You're going to hit duplicate on each one of them. Okay, we're going to leave those up there. Those are for the R. Okay, are you with me? So now we're going to place our bottom lace wherever you want it. Really doesn't matter. Okay, and then here we're going to move it around and place this one where we want it. Okay, so go back to 1. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to slice. So when you slice, I want you to think of it, you can only slice 2 layers at a time. Cookie cutter is the one way that I absolutely love explaining what slice is. So if you have a cookie cutter in this hand, you're gonna slice it through. Can you slice it through 4 layers of dough? Nope, because the cookie cutter is not thick enough to slice through 4 layers of dough. A cookie cutter is made to slice through 1 layer of cookie dough, okay? So you have your cookie cutter in this hand, which is your slice function, and it's a layer in and of itself, so it's 1 layer. And then we have our second layer here, which is our cookies, our dough, cookie dough, and we're gonna take our cookie cutter and we're just gonna slice it out. So everything is gonna stay the same. When I pull that up, that's all gonna look the same. Nothing changes until we remove the outside of that cookie dough. Does that make sense? I think that's the best example that I can think of to explain what slice does. So our slice function here, cookie dough here, if we're wanting to slice a heart out of a single layer of cookie dough, we take that heart slice, we press it down on that layer, we pull it back out, we still have all this surrounding cookie dough, and we have our heart in there, we just have to get rid of everything outside of it, okay? So let's go back to Design Space. So we have our cookie cutter layer here. We're gonna call our laces our cookie cutter, and we're gonna call our E our cookie dough. So we're gonna select both of those. Okay, you see here it is, and here our E is. We have both of those selected, and we're gonna take that cookie cutter and we're gonna put pressure on it, and we're gonna slice it out. So we're gonna hit slice. So we see it's cut that out. Let's zoom in so we can see it. So you can see our cookie cutter has done the job it was supposed to do. We just have to get rid of all of that excess that we don't want. So we're gonna call this lace our excess that we don't want. So we're gonna make sure it's selected. You can see on our layers panel, it is selected, and we're gonna delete that out. But the problem with this here is that if I move this, and I'll move it, and because I've already got the other Asher ready to cut, so I'll move it so we can see. So let me move this guy here. We have our red layer, but look, that cookie cutter cut through our E too. But we don't want it to cut through our E, because if we were to go to make it right now, that's what it would cut out, and we don't necessarily want that. So we're gonna just click undo. We're gonna put that back in there, okay? So that is why after I slice, I don't move anything, and I go back and I select all of my gray layers over here and put them back together. So welding back together is like when you weld metal, you're gonna put it back together and make it stronger, okay? Kathy says, could you use any of the new combined features to make it easier? So the issue with using some of the new combined features is, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was putting these laces together, it would overlap this letter and then overlap my other letter, and I didn't necessarily want that, but I wanted the laces to look thick and chunky. So that's why I liked using this method and work on each individual letter separate than all letters together. So there are ways you can do that, 100% ways you can do that. But for today's tutorial, we're going to do it this way. So Christine asked, would subtract work? Well, let's try it. So we're going to, first thing I need to do before I do subtract is I need to bring these layers back together. So we're going to talk about weld or the combine feature. So what I want to do, you can work from your layers panel. This is your E with the laces cut out, and this is the gray laces here. You can select both of those. You can drag and drop whatever your heart desires, but we're going to make sure that both of those are selected. So now let's talk about these combined functions, okay? So unite is what has pretty much replaced weld. You can unite this and it will bring it back together, but then what would happen was you could still manipulate each one of these two layers. So let's just go ahead and do that. Unite. You can see it all looks nice and pretty together. No lines inside here. But if I wanted to, I can still select that and move it around. Not really something that I want to do, but it can be done. So that's what the combine function is. 9 times out of 10 anymore, when we use combine, weld, things like that, We use combine strictly because we can come in here and manipulate it again. But this is an instance where I know for a fact I don't want to manipulate this anymore. I'm done. I just want that E 100% put back together. I need it to be permanent. Okay? So that is where you can go to weld. You could skip the step, not do you not, weld it back together. Okay? But I just wanted to show you guys what, once you hit weld, you can't undo it. The only way you can undo weld is if you hit it and then hit this back button. But once you unite it, there is this new section here, merge layers. That's the same thing as weld. It's just after you unite it, you can merge those layers and make them all the same. Okay? So we're just gonna merge them back together. And now you see it's all one layer again. It's nothing, I can't manipulate that little lace in there. Can't do that anymore. Somebody asked us, could we not just use exclude? So let's try it out. Why not try it out? So I think this is the layer we want to work with, yes. So I have brought this lace all the way to the front, okay? I want it here, so we're gonna, ooh. This is why I don't like working with it. We don't wanna do that. So I'm going to select this from my layers panel so that it doesn't move. We're gonna do both of these combined. You said exclude is the one you wanted or subtract?
Exclude is what I would used.
This is the issue with exclude though.
Right.
That's the issue we get with exclude. It has excluded the center part but left the outside pieces.
Because the stitch is overhanging.
Right, because the stitch is hanging over everywhere else.
So then you should use intersect because that's where the two layers would meet. It would leave. I was thinking I used exclude, but do intersect and see what happens.
Intersect
Okay.
gets rid of my E.
It does, but if you duplicate the word, you would have them already, if that makes sense.
Well, I liked seeing both of the layers, so that's what I do. Slice, get rid of the slice that I don't want, and bring my letters back together.
It does make it a lot easier to see what you're doing. I honestly, I prefer this method. This is the best way you could probably do it. And if y'all figure out a way that you like it better, do it that way. But like, if you don't know a good method, this is a really good one to go with. Like just following exactly how Lauren's doing it.
So now I think we're off just a smidgen, but it's okay. We're not gonna use this one anyway, okay? So now we are selecting, once again, we're gonna use our cookie cutter. We're selecting our E, and here we're gonna cookie cut that out. We're gonna get rid of this outside piece we don't want. You see that? And then we're just gonna take these gray layers that's behind that red. So if I bring this up, you see that gray layer? We're gonna select the gray layers, and then we're just gonna weld them back together. Kathy, yeah, you know what? It's a little bit tedious, but once you get the results, like once you have everything you need, like especially if you're doing a generic mom, dad, baseball mom, soccer mom, whatever, you can just recreate this. You don't have to do a name and do this every single time. Let's say you wanted to sell these shirts and you wanted to sell baseball mom or whatever, just create that mom. It may take a few minutes on the front end designing it, but on the back end, it's just going to be a duplicate, like a rinse and repeat process, okay? So we're all here. And it really isn't, once you know your technique and how to do this, it's super quick. Like, I'm pretty sure, how long did it take me sitting out there while we were eating? Like 5 minutes to do Asher's name?
Listen, whenever we first were doing this project, I whipped it so hard the first time. It didn't take that long at all.
Okay, so we're just gonna do this super fast, because I really want to talk to you guys about the next step. That is gonna be very important, okay? So we are just doing our R, we're selecting those two layers, slice, cookie cutter to slice, bottom two, slice. See, this is how I did it, very fast. Delete out my outside layers, delete out my outside, I deleted that one out on accident.
Undo.
Pick all my gray layers here, combine, weld them together, and then bring these 2 layers in front of that gray layer. Okay? That's how
10.5
fast.
seconds.
Yes, yes. So now what you want to do, because look at our layer panel, how long this is, right? We want to attach all of these back together. So we're gonna start selecting our letters A, S, H, E, and R, okay? 2 different ways you can do this. You can attach them if you want to. So we'll hit attach, and you can see they're all together, right? I want to explain to you what attach is. Attach, I want you to think of attach as a paper clip. A paper clip is what? Removable. It's not permanent, but it still keeps all of your papers together. It's not a staple. Not saying staples are removable, but staples are a little bit more permanent than a paper clip. So think of attach. That's why they've used that paper clip symbol. It's very, very intentional that they use the paper clip, because they want you to realize that a paper clip is removable. You can keep your pack of papers together, put your paper clip on, and that's going to keep it the same all the way through the process. It's going to keep your papers together through every single process that paper clip is. But once you save it, you can come back and remove that paper clip and still work and manipulate if you want to, okay? So that is why attach might be beneficial to you all, especially if you want to, if you were selling these and making like super custom names, you can already have, you can do the full alphabet, A, B, C, whatever, and attach like your letters together, and then come in and detach them, and then just duplicate the letters you need and put them together if you wanted to. But that's why I wanted to make sure you all know what attach is. I want you to think of it as a paper clip that can be taken off if you want to, or put back on. So,
and they're going to stay exactly where they're at on the canvas when you go to your make it mat. So like if you just group these together,
yep,
they would not stay together. You have to attach them or they're going to float around everywhere.
So now we're going to do the same thing for the red layers. All of our laces, we're going to select all of our laces. Now they are just right behind. I don't want to move this because I want to show you guys what happens when you do this. They're just right behind our letters. We just can't see them right now. But we're just going to make sure all of our red laces are selected here. Attach, boom. They're right back where they need to be. Okay?
Love it.
Are we good?
Yes.
So once we're done there, I'm actually going to be working with this one, so I'm just going to delete this guy out down here. And I'm going to hide my mom. Okay?
That's not very nice.
Huh?
Hide your mom.
I'm going to hide my mom. I'll hide my mom. So now, once you're done, we're going to go to, no, we're not. We're going to go back. We're going to cancel that. And we're going to size our t-shirt before we go to make it. So
Don't
let's
forget.
go overhead. And I'm going to size my t-shirt. So we are working with a, let's see, take my handy dandy maker's going to learn measuring tape here. I am comfortable working within, I'd say about 10 inches, 11 at most.
You don't want it to go into their like armpits.
No,
That's
no.
what I always
So
think
you
about.
need to be careful when you are sizing t-shirts to keep it within this area, because a lot of times once you start getting over here, it's just going to go down into the armpit, especially if you're working on ladies t-shirts. Be very, very super aware of that, please. Ladies, you know our issues, you know. The Lord blessed us. So you just want to make sure you keep it within this range right here, whether you're working with a youth size, an adult, whatever. So for a youth size t-shirt, I would probably be comfortable working within 10 inches. So I'm just going to go back to Design Space. And we're going to select both of these, and we see I have it at 16 inches. I don't need it. I'm actually just going to go to my width, and I'm going to type in 10. And that right there is exactly what I want, which makes my letters 2.8, 2.25, a little over 2 3/4. That's not too small. Once you go overhead, you can see, like, I thought that it was 2 inches, so I was like, oh my gosh, 2-inch letters are tiny, but it's really more like 2 3/4, a little over 2 3/4. So that'll be really good for this t-shirt.
Yeah, that'll be cute.
So we're working with 10 inches. Now that we have it sized, we are then gonna go to make it. And you can see it will fit perfectly on our 12 by 12 mat. I don't know about you guys, but I actually despise the fact that Cricut automatically thinks our mats are 12 by 24
Somebody needs
now.
to call Cricut and let them know what's going on.
We don't like it.
Hello? I feel like that'd be such an easy fix.
It would be.
Like me, like I know how to code design software. I'm like,
Yeah.
you could just fix it.
Just fix it.
It's been the opposite way for my whole life.
I know. So I have mirrored both of these images, okay? Now, for Mom, in case y'all are aware, you can spell Mom the same, forward and backwards. And I actually forgot to, in case y'all weren't aware.
And upside down.
And upside down, wow. I forgot to mirror the first one, but it still came out fine because I didn't mirror either one of them. But definitely make sure you mirror your design, okay? We good. Now we're gonna go to continue. I don't know, Cricut, I am connected to my Explore 3. So I'm now going to, let's see, will it fit? Let's go back. I wanna see if I can use this. 10. I think I can, y'all. I think I can. I can use this piece. I can just use this piece. I don't have to cut anything off of that 12 by 24 inch piece. I'm gonna cut this little guy off the side real quick.
Wilma says that you can change it in the settings. Well, Wilma, here I go. I'm gonna go fix mine. I have piddled around. Y'all, honestly, I get in here and then I don't remember to fix it until I go to make something and I'm like, that's annoying. And then I forget to fix it. So I'm just gonna go to my settings.
So Diane says hers does not revert. Oh, Wilma says it's under settings, load type. Y'all, this is why I absolutely adore this community, because not only do we feel like we get to teach you all, but y'all teach us. Like, we're learners. We are crafters and learners just like you all. So anything, like, teach us all the things. We want to know, because although we do it every day, there are certain things that we really, really miss.
Well, I fixed it. Thanks, Wilma. I appreciate you. Genuinely.
Wilma's the
Shout
MVP
out.
of today.
Yeah, gold star. Gold star.
Triple gold star.
This has been on our nerves for like 3 weeks now.
Okay, so Denise said, on specific vinyl, do you cut on the shiny side or on the matte side? I'm glad you asked that, because this is what we're fixing to talk about. With this little piece that I cut off, I'm going to show you guys why it is important with your puff vinyl to check which side is the carrier sheet. So the carrier sheet is the side that has the, and I'm going to grab this weeding tool. Y'all, I cleaned the paint with this weeding tool earlier, so we're going to, anyway. So the carrier sheet is the sheet that keeps our vinyl down. So on this, I don't know if you can tell, look at this. Let's just talk about, if you were just cutting this vinyl, we always say shiny side down, right? Mm-hmm. For vinyl, or HTV, we always say shiny side down. So look, we have a shiny side and we have a matte side. So what would you all do? Place it shiny side down with that matte side facing up.
Right.
It's what I did the first time.
Yep.
I was so confused. But I want you to look at this. So when we take the corner of our HTV and try to peel it away, we take, and it just came off. Let me try to get it one more time. Look, I'm gonna peel most of this off.
Y'all should have seen me and Lauren detaching the
The
carrier
matte
sheet.
side is the carrier sheet.
Yes.
The shiny side is the back. That's the adhesive on the back of this vinyl. Mm-hmm. Normally the adhesive is matte on HTV, but this time the matte is the carrier sheet and the shiny is the adhesive.
And listen, I don't know if you want to show them that reference guide, because I put a little asterisk and it literally says Always cut puff vinyl with the carrier sheet facing down, and you press with the carrier sheet up.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to show them where they can find it, because I have to refer back to it still because.
Let's cut all of this, and then when we press it, we'll go back and look at the
settings.
Okay. So now that we have discovered, like we've talked about, it's carrier sheet down, and for this instance, the carrier sheet is a matte carrier sheet. We are going to select done, and y'all, I just cut this on everyday iron-on setting. Very simple. I am gonna burnish this down because I did not burnish this down a while ago. We just gone, oh snap, crackle, pop. What did I just do?
I can't see. It's fine.
No, it's not
Was
fine.
something cut out of it already?
No, I just burnished too hard.
Oh, that's weird. It looks like it was like cut up.
No.
Well.
No, I just burnished too hard. Well, okay, let's go back and see if we can fit this bad boy in here.
I
Let's go
bet
back
you
to
can.
edit.
Yeah.
It's at 3. No,
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
I might can move it down to the 6.
There you go.
Or maybe I can just turn it a little sideways.
Lauren is now trying to fit the name so we avoid the little nick in the vinyl.
Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna do it like that. I think
Yeah.
that'll work.
That's fine.
3, 10.
Y'all don't like when we waste vinyl, so you're welcome.
No, that ain't gonna work either. I don't think it's gonna fit.
You tilt it the other way.
Maybe. 6 inches. 3.
So
It just really worries me.
Yeah, I know. After all this work, we don't want to mess it up. So the
Okay.
carrier sheet on the puff vinyl feels almost like vellum paper. If you guys have
Yes.
ever used vellum paper for like cards and things, it's like really soft, just the matte paper. So it doesn't feel like that shiny, glossy feel.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are here and you're watching this tutorial today and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. We have a boot camp coming up next week. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It will stay on the channel for you all to watch till the end of the month, and then it goes member only exclusive content. But you all can sign up for free. You just have to sign up through the link, and we will send you the files we're going to use, the fonts we're going to use, and you guys can like come and, you know, do some design space tutorials with us. So it's going to be a little bit more beginner friendly. We wanted them to be more beginner friendly. So we're doing like a card, we're doing a tea towel using simple fonts, and we're also doing a keychain with layered vinyl. So
Yes.
lots of fun projects. It's going to be a good time.
A
You can't
really
be
good
there. I
time.
mean, you can watch it. You know, you don't
Or
have
be
to like,
square, either one.
yeah, be there or be square. So it's going to be really fun if you guys are wanting to do that. Sadie dropped a link, and there's a link pinned in the chat box, so you guys can just click the link in the chat box.
Okay, so I just cut me a new little piece of vinyl, and while that is cutting, let's go to camera 1. We do have our heat press set at 280 degrees. This needs to be pressed at a lower temperature. So we are going to be pressing at 280 degrees, and I'm going to try to get this tape off so I can get us another piece of this red vinyl ready to go on our mat. You can use an easy press instead of a heat press. I would just suggest using a larger easy press, not the mini, which we
Yes.
normally do. We love the mini, but I just don't know with this one. And then I'm just cutting, this is just regular HTV, cutting it on everyday iron-on, the same as our puff. Putting this in here, loading it. Now, let's weed our puff vinyl, y'all.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It is so easy to weed.
You would say this is probably, like, it feels thicker than normal HTV, right?
It does feel thicker than normal HTV, but that everyday iron-on setting cuts through it beautifully.
Yeah, it's like butter.
Butter.
And it's probably because it's Caesar brand, but it weeds so good.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I love it.
And then, boom. So hard. Being so facetious, y'all.
Did you guys know that they have puff screen print ink? Lauren knows because
Yeah.
we used it, but
Yeah,
just another way to get the puff effect. You can screen print.
you can screen print. Okay. So now that's going to take that a minute to cut through that. And then both vinyls are puff. No, we're actually using regular HTV on top of puff HTV. Yes. Which setting is 280 on easy press? This is why I probably wouldn't use the mini, because you can't get a specific number on the mini easy press.
You can't adjust the temperature.
You can't adjust the temperature. It's just like low, medium, and high.
Yeah.
Hey, while that's cutting, do you want to run out there and grab that youth t-shirt guide?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just pre-pressing this to get any wrinkles out. Just a quick pre-press.
I just
Nothing
walked
very.
in front of the camera. I literally was touching. I'm so sorry. Oh,
It's okay. It's okay. Yes, Wilma, HTV on top of puff. That is what we are doing today. HTV on top of puff. And now we're going to have a big Birkenstock shoe print on our mat.
Shout out Temu for this youth t-shirt guide.
Yeah, shout out to Temu.
That's from a Temu haul.
Can you do HTV and then puff? That's something we haven't done, but
I believe you can. And you can
I
layer
think you
puff on
could.
puff too.
yeah.
Yeah, you can do it.
I mean, if you can layer the regular HTV on puff, I don't see why, because I'm pressing both the HTV and the puff at the same setting and pretty much the same time, like 8 to 10 seconds for each one.
Right.
So now I'm going to weed out our laces. Now you all know me, and you know that I love to save as much vinyl as possible. However, when it comes to trying to save this vinyl, like you could have, if you wanted to, like left these laces individual, cut them out, place them all out. But like that puzzle is not one that I want to deal with when I can just weed this so easy like this and literally just go in there. And I think I tore off no I didn't, that's just the letter. Thought I tore off a lace. So this is one that, you know, we are wasting some vinyl, but keeping it all together so that you can just lay it on top makes it so much easier. It really it makes your life, I'm telling you, it makes your life so much easier. So now you can see we have, and I'll show you, we have our regular HTV layer cut out and our puff layer. And look how beautifully those go together.
That's gorgeous.
I just love it. Love it.
I love like baseball themed things.
Me
like
too.
I love the colors. I like that most of the time it looks vintage.
Yep.
Like I'm just into baseball. I'm into it.
Okay. Just as clarification, the white is going to be puff vinyl, and I'll press it, I'll pull it off the press and show you guys what it looks like before I put the HTV on it, okay? So this is gonna be puff vinyl. This is just regular, the laces are just regular heat transfer vinyl, okay? Is it going to flatten the puff where the HTV is? Wilma? No.
Nope.
It does not. It's still very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Okay. So what we're gonna be doing now, I'm using my t-shirt ruler. I'm gonna cut off the excess. A little trick of the trade is what you can do to make sure you get the center is line your letters up, and I like lining the furthest point up with the furthest point and then creasing your carrier sheet. You can go overhead, Sadie. Creasing that carrier sheet there in the middle. So now you have a middle line to go by, okay? Crafting, yes, sometimes it is just so much easier to waste a little vinyl. So once we have our center crease, I showed you guys a while ago how to get that center crease. Once we have our center crease in our carrier sheet, and I wish we could do this overhead so y'all could see this, but I am lining, and I'll show you guys. I'm gonna be lining this center mark here up with the center mark on our t-shirt ruler guide, okay? So we're placing our t-shirt guide back in here, lining up that center mark, making sure everything is even.
We have not sublimated on puff vinyl, but I know that they have patterned puff vinyl now that you can purchase, and I don't know how.
I don't think that you would be able to sublimate on or use infusible ink on puff vinyl strictly because puff vinyl takes such a low temperature, number one, and a short time.
Yeah.
We are doing this, once again, 280 degrees for 8 seconds. Sublimation, you have to sublimate. I guess the sweet spot for sublimation is going to be 385 degrees. That's a full 100 degrees hotter than what we're working with right now. So I don't think it would work. Just as a little fact. So once again, 280 degrees. We're going to be pressing this 7-8 seconds. So we have it on 60 seconds. We're going to pull it off right now. And y'all, that carrier sheet just pops right off.
Yeah, it'll say hot peel on the reference guide, but it pops
honest
off.
to goodness, it just pops off. We don't even have to peel it. It just pops off. So now let's bring this back over here so that you all can see the puff vinyl before we add the HTV over top of it. And this is something that you are going to want to be aware of here. This is the one where I didn't necessarily move the R away from that E. I still don't think it looks bad, but it does puff up. So if you do have things that are closer together, be aware of that, okay? But this is what it looks like. I think it looks beautiful. I love the puff vinyl.
Me too. It's so cute.
I love it.
I've got Lauren she had to pick up a shirt today and she got me a white shirt. I'm going to make myself a puff vinyl shirt today that says beach bumpin' because I'm going to be pregnant at the beach.
I love it. So now we're just going to lay it back down. We're still keeping our press at 280. And we are going to take our, going to cut this excess off here. And we are going to take our red laces and we are just going to place it on top of our letters and line this bad boy up. Now, one thing I do want to make you all aware of is you may have a little bit of white on the outside because this is puff vinyl. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Because it does puff up a little bit, you're going to have a little bit of an outline. Okay, I think that's good enough. And if you want to be more like truly specific, like if you wanted to cut out each individual letter and place them each down, you can. But this works just fine. So now we're just going to pop that down for 10 more seconds and be done.
Beautiful. And also, whenever you all are doing just the puff, the time is a little bit different. So just be aware, like, the time frame that you're pressing it for is a little bit longer. If Lauren was just doing puff, it would be different. But she's doing a shorter amount of time because she's adding HTV onto the top of it. And we don't want to overwork the vinyl.
And then there you go.
Look how cute.
Look.
Oh my gosh, I love that. On the navy.
I know.
Aww.
It looks so good.
That's cutie patootie. I love
This
it.
looks like a really large youth shirt.
It does.
It
What
says
size is
youth
it?
on it. Youth large.
Oh.
Youth t-shirt.
Maybe it's like really narrow.
Maybe.
It's very cute.
I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and hop over to the table and let's take a look at what we are making today.
I mean,
I'm
look
looking at the reflection of that. Y'all, I cannot.
It's gorge.
It's Gorgina Bobina.
Gorgina Bobina.
Gorgina, look at that.
It looks good on that color sweatshirt too.
Okay, So what we are gonna be doing, we'll go overhead and I'll talk about all of the supplies. Actually, while we're overhead and I'm talking about supplies, do you care to run out there and get those other colors of the Super Puff?
Yep.
Okay, so this is what we're going to be creating today. Yes, the shine is phenomenal. The puff is amazing. It's smooth, it is beautiful, it's perfect. So what you're gonna need is you are going to need a blank sweatshirt, shirt, it really doesn't matter. We're actually gonna be using this shirt today, this one. It's a cute little leopard, like a cream leopard print. We're gonna be using it today. It doesn't matter. I personally don't think it matters the makeup of your material. I will say we are doing this on 100% cotton, but I don't think that there is anything very specific that you have to, like a specific color. There's a royal blue in there somewhere.
Is there also?
Yes.
I just really want to try glitter offset with puff.
Okay.
With metallic puff. I want to try that.
And it's going to be on yours. Perfect. We can do that. So Alicia has brought in, first of all, let me just, I sent her out to go get some other stuff. And I want you to look at all of the glitter puff that she brought back because she wants me to do an offset on this puff. So we're gonna choose a glitter offset and we're gonna teach you, we're just gonna, why not just go ahead and teach you how to add.
I don't see the blue.
It's inside that red, I see it right there.
Oh, is it metallic?
Should be.
I ordered some of this cobalt
I know
blue,
we got royal blue. It might be in a box. Is there some in a box?
No.
There it is, that's it.
Oh, I thought you were looking for metallic.
Oh, it is metallic.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, the blue is absolutely stunning. So these are all the colors that we have. She has so many other colors, but these three colors, oh my God, I can't. I can't. This is amazing. So, but she does have red, which is amazing for Christmas. I did a sweatshirt it was on a forest green, and it was this, was it red or, no, it was gold.
You did gold.
I did gold,
but it was really cute.
On red flock. Yes, so she has red, she has this royal blue, which is, look at that.
Oh,
I just
that
think
blue
it's
looks
beautiful.
good on camera too. All of them
know.
look really good on camera,
know.
actually.
Anyway, I'm just obsessed with this. Someone did ask, can you put puff on top of HTV? Yes, you can put puff on top of HTV, but you can't layer other things on top of puff. So just know that you have to, you can layer stuff with puff on top, but when it's puff, there can't be anything else on top of it, okay?
Okay.
Let's finish our supplies. That's what I was talking about. Blank. Shirt, sweatshirt, don't care. Super Puff vinyl from Vinyl Tool Supply. Yeah, Karen, I really do like those colors. Love this. If you want to recreate this today and you don't have the Super Puff, you can use what vinyl you have. It's just not gonna look as fabulous as this. And then, of course, we do have our heat press here. One thing about puff vinyl, and this is whether it's Super Puff or regular puff, you have to have pressure to activate the puff. It is going to be very, very hard, and I've seen a lot of people post on Facebook, and not necessarily in the Makers Gonna Learn group. I've seen it on, I've seen a lot of people like on the Cricut Free SVG. I think there's a group that pops up on my Facebook, and they're talking about puff. It's the pressure that helps activate the puff. If you don't have the pressure, it ends up looking just bad. I don't know how else to say it in a nice way. It ends up looking like you have melted your vinyl and it just doesn't puff right.
Yeah.
Now, if you're doing a smaller area and all you have is a Cricut press, that's fine. Just make sure when you are pressing it that you have the leverage to add more pressure. If you're strong enough to add more pressure on your Cricut press than just setting it on top of it. It's not the same. You have to have more pressure than just sitting it on top, okay? So just know if you don't have a heat press and you want to do super puff and you want to make super puff, my suggestion to you is there 9 times out of 10, there is someone that you know that probably has a heat press that if you ask might let you use it. Or in a lot of areas, they have what they call maker spaces. We have one here in our area that you can go to and use equipment like this to make things, but you don't have to purchase. You may have to be a member of a maker space. You may have to pay like a monthly fee.
I'm a member of our maker space, and I think it's like $28 a month. And you can use anything they have.
Yes.
A lot of places will have like woodworking, like ours has woodworking, and then they also have like a cutter machine or a laser, or like some of them are like real bougie, okay?
Yeah.
It can get crazy.
It can get crazy, but I highly suggest if you don't have a heat press, but you want to try something like this, maybe even before purchasing a heat press, check out, just kind of Google and ask around and see if you can find any maker spaces in your area. That way you can test it out before actually purchasing. That's just my 2 cents. So the only other thing that we have on our table is our t-shirt ruler. That's just going to be to help us center our stuff onto your shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my heat press in. I'm going to be setting my heat press right now before we get started. I'm going to set my heat press at 275. That's the other thing is with, and Sadie, tell me if my mic starts. It's like falling down in my shirt, I feel like. Oopsie daisy, I'm not paying attention. Give me a second. I've turned it to Celsius. Hold on. So here, if you have some type of auto press and you can't manually, this is the instance where people are like, which would you choose, a clamshell or an auto press? Y'all, an auto press is gonna work 90% of the time for what you're doing, especially because I know we have some friends of the channel who do have issues with like arthritis and things like that. And unfortunately, that's just part of the human experience. We all have things that we deal with. So if you have something like that, an auto press is great. A workaround that you could do is add extra pressing pillows. Like this is a mat that goes on the bottom of ours. Let me show you what an actual pressing pillow looks like. So this is an oblong pressing pillow, but it could be something that you put in your shirt, like in the middle of your shirt, and you see how it's raised here? It's gonna give more pressure because it creates more space between your heat plate and the bottom. So if you do have an auto press, pressing pillows may help you increase the pressure. But if you're in the market for a heat press and you don't have arthritis issues and you're trying to choose between an auto and a clamshell, personally, I would go with a clamshell for instances like this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Wood rounds also do work great if you're needing to add pressure to an auto press. Really anything that's going to withstand the heat of the heat plate on top, not ruin your blank, and add a little bit more depth here at the bottom to create more pressure. Yes, Shannon, a Cricut pressing mat would also work. That's the same concept as of a pressing pillow. What it does is it traps heat, and this one is covered in Teflon. It just like it kind of like the heat stays in it. So I use these a lot if I'm doing sublimation with ceramics because they help with that. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop over to our share screen. And we are going to grab the font from Maker's Gonna Learn First. I'm gonna show you which font we're gonna be using. We already have it downloaded. But first, before we get started, this Funky Junkie would be such a fun font in like the metallic Super Puff.
I mean,
I think it's super cute.
I love it.
I do too.
Dilly dally.
Also, Dilly Dally would be really cute in Super Puff, but I don't know.
That would be it. I would have to test it.
We would have to test it. The one, is that what we used?
No. Please hold.
Please hold.
Used. Oh, it is Rainbow
It is
Rhythm.
Rainbow Rhythm. I thought it was Rainbow Rhythm.
I like it.
So we are using Rainbow Rhythm for today's font. It's one of my favorites.
It's very cute.
So how you're gonna download that, and I probably will have to download it because I don't think it's on this computer, but to download this, you're gonna click this arrow pointing down. From there, you're gonna go to your downloads. You can see I have it here. We're gonna double click it because it is a zip file. And here it is unzipped. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hop over to Design Space. I'm going to, where is my stuff? There it is. Beautiful. Here is the one that we did. I'm gonna go to customize. This is gonna pop up. You can see missing content. This project contains fonts that are not on this computer. So what do we do? Well, what you're gonna do is you are going to go back to your Finder. We have this unzipped. We're gonna double click this, okay? And we're gonna install the font. Now, if you're on a Mac, it's going to install into your font book. If you're on a PC, it's going to look a little bit different. It looks kind of like, it has like 72 point here, and then it keeps going down and down and down. It's your character map is the same thing as your font book. It's just two separate operating systems. So you're just going to install either way. It's then going to download onto your computer. And you can see this is our font book and all of the fonts that we have in our font book. But the problem is Cricut doesn't know that we have downloaded a new font because it's still in this window that we pulled up a while ago. So once you have downloaded a new font onto your computer, what you must do after that is come up here to View. You're gonna click View, and then you're going to reload Cricut Design Space. Now, when I reload, it's going to pull that same project that I was working on back in, but you're gonna notice that when it finally loads, there is not going to be a red bar go across the top because now it recognizes that we have downloaded that new font onto our computer. Simple as that. Simple as that. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is we are going to add a text box. I'll just go ahead and I'll just hide this guy. We're gonna add a text box. I'm gonna change my font to, I'm actually gonna go to System Fonts, and I'm gonna type in Rainbow Rhythm. And
Rhythm.
here it is. That's it. That's it. What we're gonna do is we're just going to type what we want. And of course, we're doing the vols, or the vols, whatever you wanna say. The vols, the vols. Now, before we go to cut it, the only other thing left to do is we're going to size it accordingly. So I'm gonna pull in my shirt here. Oh, no it's not, we're adding a glitter offset. What color do you want your glitter offset?
Do you want to just do a normal one first and then I can grab another shirt?
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, for vols, ooh, I like that. I like it.
I'm trying to.
I like the champagne color, personally.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, like, cause
I really thought you would go with that one.
I mean, I love that color, but like, I like that the champagne's subtle and it matches the shirt.
But we don't want to go white.
No.
No. We want to go champagne?
Yeah.
Beauty must.
I think
I would
so.
either do champagne or black. And I know black sounds silly. If the leopard,
I wouldn't hate black. I like the champagne
I like
better.
the champagne. Is somebody, what just happened?
I've been watching. It's been doing that.
What's it doing?
It sounded like somebody was trying to FaceTime me.
Oh.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I
Sounded
thought I
like
heard
a
something
FaceTime.
too.
And then something happened on the share screen.
Weird.
Oh, weird. Okay, champagne it is.
Yeah,
Champagne problems, man.
Wait, who's
Champagne.
behind Vinyl and Tool Supply? Tell us your name, Batman. Otherwise, we're gonna call you Batman.
I know her name. I just it's leaving me right now.
Tell us your name. Is it Sarah?
Maybe.
Is it Sarah?
That might be it.
Okay. Well, we love the champagne. Champagne offset and orange puff
Super puff.
Vols shirt.
Oh, wait, I think it's me. I think I'm touching the keyboard.
Oh, and it's like brrr, it's like hitting the button.
Yeah, but it sounded like a FaceTime call.
It did. I know.
I'm an idiot.
Sarah Jane is present. Hi,
Sarah Jane.
Is that from Tarzan? Is that her name in Tarzan?
No, it's just Jane.
Oh, it's just Jane?
Just Jane.
Okay, I love it. Beauty.
Okay, I said I was gonna size it and I never sized it.
Okay.
I pulled it out. The measuring tape, that is. Okay, so I'm gonna go with like, I think I wanna go with about 10 inches. I think that's what this one probably is. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go, you know, somewhere between 10 and 11 inches. So what I'm gonna do now, back in Design Space, we are going to size this, and we're sitting at 10.15. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up here to offset, and we are going to add an offset. I think 0.25 is a little bit more than what I want. Maybe like a 0.2. How do we feel about a 0.2?
I like it.
I like.
Yeah, that's cute.
Okay, so now we have our offset here, and we have our vols here. Now, there are a couple different ways that you can go about this but I'm not gonna, actually, you know, we're not gonna confuse you. I think if you're layering puff vinyl, your best bet is just to leave your base layer solid.
Yes.
Now, I can hear you all, I can hear some people say, wouldn't you want to slice this out and just have the offset so you're not layering so much vinyl? Actually, for this, no, you don't. And the reason that you don't is because HTV specifically can shrink when you heat it up, and that if you slice it out to have your background, like your glitter, this black being your glitter, as a guide, what's gonna happen is that might shrink and then it doesn't line up perfectly with your puff. So I would leave your offset as a solid. It's not gonna matter when it comes to layering your puff over top of the glitter. It's not gonna make anything change. Trust me, we're just leaving our offset solid. In years past, you would have to unite before you went forward. However, in one of the updates, I'm pretty sure it was around a year and a half ago, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's about the right time frame. Cricut made it to where you don't have to unite your text if you've not manipulated your text in any specific way, and it's still, you can see on we'll go back to our share screen, you can see on the right hand side, it's still a text. That T is gonna tell you it's a text. When you go to make it, you can see that it automatically
Kerns it.
Or it automatically welds it together.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Okay, so now we're just ready to cut. So I'm going to put mirror on both of these. We're gonna go back to our first one. This is gonna be our glitter layer. You might have to hand me that fabric grip mat because I don't think we have a super strong mat.
Yeah, I feel like.
I mean, I've got these right here, but I don't think they're strong enough for the glitter.
What in the world is that?
Oh, I don't know.
This ain't.
Oh, here's a brand new standard grip mat. This one should be fine.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, I'm gonna move this off the table. Catch.
What size is this? Large. Just my size. But you know.
Oh yeah, buddy. I don't even have trust issues with this mat, y'all.
I love when that happens. You can't beat a fresh mat.
Yeah, buddy.
You know?
Rolling like a big shot. I got songs stuck in my head for days today.
We were singing, or Lauren was singing Wizard of Oz, the Munchkin song earlier, because someone said that my daughter should be a Munchkin for Halloween.
But she doesn't even look like one.
She doesn't look like one. She's beautiful. Angel. Precious. Georgia's like the most precious little baby I ever knew in my life. Well, and Ruby. They're my kids, so I have to say that, right? I believe it though, truly.
They are pretty darn precious.
They're fresh.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to continue. We're gonna turn on our machine because it wasn't turned on. We're gonna move these guys out of the way. We're gonna get some room here on the table.
I'm really excited about this offset.
I know, I am too. We're gonna be doing glitter HTV, glitter iron-on. I was real confused. Okay, And we are just going to pull this through. Now, yes, it's in there. My fine point blade is in there. Yes. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, we just cut this on everyday iron-on, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyday iron-on.
Yeah.
We'll check it when it comes out. Okay, so I'm going to put our metallic super puff through our machine, everyday iron-on. And I am going to start weeding our glitter. I figured it was. Let me fix my mic for you guys.
Listen, I'm gonna post my pictures of my stuff at my market, and I don't want you guys coming for me for what I sell, okay? Promise me before I post it.
What do you mean coming at you for what you sell?
Because of all the Vols stuff that we sell.
Oh.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Well, okay, but first of all, you can, I feel like you can, like what you sold, it's not a problem because you and Lauren both, like she hand drew a replica of Neyland Stadium. You hand drew.
I hand drew
Smokey.
everything, yeah.
You hand drew everything, so it's not a copyright image because you didn't take somebody else's licensed image. You just created your own version.
For most of it, yeah.
Okay.
I bought everything that I used. That makes you feel better. There was no stealing involved. Okay, I'll post it. I'll post it just for you guys
Okay.
in the Facebook group.
Vols. Vols.
Go Vols.
Go Vols.
Love it.
I'm sure y'all think we are absolutely absurd sometimes.
Guys like us. I mean, y'all obviously like us because you be hanging out with us.
I don't know why they like us sometimes. We be crazy.
Cray cray. That orange looks so dark from the back,
I know.
but it's not.
It's the magic.
I love it.
I'm trying to like cut this and also save as much as I can, but not cut my design. So
Debbie DeShong, I did regular vinyl on top of glitter, and my shirt lasted at least 2 years, and it was worn often. You know what? I made Ruby a shirt for Georgia football when she was 1, and it just now started peeling, and like my Georgia daughter wore it, and it's like just now starting to peel off. And I just wash it and dry it with all the rest of the clothes.
I love how you have to say, we made a shirt for Georgia football and now my Georgia daughter.
Just so you guys know. We didn't name our daughter after the Georgia football team either, just because my husband is a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. My great-grandmother's name was Georgia, and his great-grandmother's name was Ruby.
You don't have to lie.
I'm not.
We know you named
Trey
your kid over, but we know that you named her after Georgia football.
Trey probably tells people that because he thinks it's so cool, but like that's not what he was easily on
He
board
does it
with
when you're
though.
not around.
Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
like, oh, no doubt in my mind. That is exactly something Trey would say. Yeah, we named her after a football team.
Yeah, we named her after a football team. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the Georgia Bulldogs.
My wife let me name our kid Georgia after my favorite football team. I hope he's not watching this.
Griff Moto will comment here in a minute.
Griff Moto, where are you at? Oh man.
If that's the case, you would have had one Georgia and one Vols.
Yeah, and Vols was not a name on my list. So, have you seen where people like make fun of names on TikTok and they're like, they just go off the wall? They're like, this is. I don't even know. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to hurt anybody's
This
feelings.
is going to be so cute.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that looks good. The tones are toning.
The tones are
like
toning.
the orange tones with that champagne is just looking good.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to tack this down first. First thing I'm going to do, we're going to lay this sucker down like this. And actually, I lied. I lied.
Sabrina, Make-a-thon includes your Make-a-thon ticket, your mystery box.
Yep.
There's gonna be a supply list before. We do some prep before where we email you and let you know like what you need to have ready. And then it will be on YouTube. We tried to do it on Zoom.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
And it'll be
the
on
first
YouTube.
year. We did it on Zoom the first year.
Yeah.
And it was fine. It's just doing it on YouTube, we get a lot higher quality.
Yes, for the replay. Like
For the replay.
those of you that miss it, if you watch it on Zoom, the quality's awful.
Yeah. Okay, so what I just did, for those that are curious, I folded my shirt in half like this, and I lined it up, and then I took it like this, and I laid it sideways just across the top where I'm gonna be doing, and so I can get like a crease down the middle. It's hard for you all to tell from there, but you can kind of see it when I move it around. Now I have a crease on this shirt to show me where the middle point is. And now I can lay it down, and I can use that crease as a guide for placing my design, which I'm also going to fold, and we'll go overhead and I'll show you this one. I'm going to line up the edges, and I don't go by this. It just so happens that this lines up. I'm going by the edge of this V and the S. So really, I guess I need to bring it over this way a little bit, about like that. And then I'm just going to crease right here at the bottom, not where my HTV is, okay? Beautiful. And you can crease at the top as well if you want to, like that. So now I have a crease in the transfer tape, right, or in the front of your HTV there and there. And now I can bring it over here and line it up to that crease, which I need to do. Another thing that I like to do, I know this is silly, but I like to pull my shirt up and kind of also like look at it. Does that look centered? No? Yes?
Maybe come to this way.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to come over to the left a little bit,
Just
I
like
think.
a hair.
So I'm just gonna bring it about right there. Beautiful. I'm gonna bring my t-shirt ruler in, putting that on that center line.
Donna, depending on the makeup of your shirt, it is good to pre-wash them, especially if they have any cotton.
Yeah, or they don't say pre-shrunk cotton.
Yeah, pre-shrunk cotton is really the best to buy for blanks, especially if you're wanting to sell.
Okay, now I am going to be tacking this down at 275. This is not the normal time. Not the normal time for
Glitter.
not the normal, yeah, for glitter, but it's also not the normal time, but not the normal temperature. Because we are gonna be pressing this a few different times. So I'm just gonna leave it at the temperature for my puff and go from there. But because it is a lower temperature,
Right.
we do need to press it. I'll probably do it for about 30 seconds.
If y'all are looking for links to any of this stuff, make sure to check the description of the video. We always put links to the files we use as well as the supplies that we use.
Yes.
So everything is down there. Now, I don't know if we linked this cheetah print t-shirt, but I can go find it for you.
We probably didn't, because this is just a t-shirt that we had in the office so that we wouldn't have to buy a new one.
Yes, but I love this shirt. We have been saving it and forever, like to use it for something.
Okay, now we get to the fun part. We're gonna be adding our puff. Ooh,
Yay! I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. That must be on the front.
Okay.
Okay, it is. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to line this up evenly with my glitter. And y'all, I would do this overhead, and the reason that I'm not is because as soon as I do it overhead, I'll have to move it, and then it's gonna move my stuff, and I don't want it to do that. So, we're pressing this at 275 for 10 seconds. And then there's gonna be another press. So we're tacking this down. You can do this without a Teflon sheet. I'm only doing it with a Teflon sheet because I don't know, we have a protector on top of our press. I've just gotten used to adding the Teflon sheet strictly because we use this press for both sublimation and heat transfer vinyl. And there are times that we are absent-minded, me, as in myself. I'm absent-minded and forget to add butcher's paper when I'm sublimating. So I use a Teflon sheet as kind of like a protective barrier to protect my garment. Really the only reason. So 10 seconds, and then we're going to pull it up, and then we're going to press again for another 10 seconds.
Let me check this clamshell heat press link. Oh, there it is a 404. Also, just so you guys know, HTV Ront has a clamshell heat press now for $199.
Now, I am going to let this cool down just a little bit, because if you try to peel this while it's hot, you run a risk of pulling your vinyl up. So I'm going to let the adhesive cool. It needs to be a completely cold peel, so we will bring this over here. Okay. You see it's not puffed yet. It has not puffed at all. We're letting this cool down.
So 143 only has the StarCraft Swing Away heat press right now for $449. So I'm gonna link that one, but I'm gonna link you guys a cheaper alternative as well, because that's a pricey.
Are you guys seeing this? Please tell me they're seeing the reveal. It's not puffed yet because we have to press again.
It's crazy how much that little sheet makes it look so matte.
I know, Alicia. It's
I'm
like obsessed with
reveal.
this.
I know, I love it.
This is what you need to do.
For my market.
For your
this
market.
weekend. I'll have to use what we have.
This is what you need to do for... Okay, so this is what it looks like not puffed. Are y'all seeing this?
Ooh, I love it.
Now what we're gonna do is we're going to bring it back over here. This is where you do need your Teflon sheet. And we're gonna press it for 10 more seconds, which is going to give it that super puff on heavy pressure, okay?
This is gonna take it, cause like right now, it's only hitting the light whenever Lauren like lifts up the shirt, but now it's gonna have that 3D effect.
Now, one thing I wanna make clear is that the glitter is going to give it a little bit of a different texture underneath, but it's still cute.
Let me see. Ooh, I love it. The glitter is really making it pop off.
Are y'all, look at this. Look how pretty.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm obsessed.
I am obsessed. So let me show you what I mean by...
That glitter is Gorgina. We have
know.
not used that glitter before.
Let me show you what I mean by it's going to give it a different, like it's gonna give the puff a little bit of a different texture, which I don't hate. It looks more like foil than it does like smooth puff. If you want smooth puff, look right here. If you want smooth puff like this one, I suggest two things. Number one, either not layering it, which this is smooth. Let me be clear, this puff is smooth. It's just the glitter behind it does give it a little bit of a different look, okay? So this is with nothing behind it. You can also get this similar effect if you use the Caesar flock, which we have a video on how to layer flock vinyl behind Super Puff, okay? And this is what I mean by the glitter is going to give it a little bit of a different texture, but it's not even a texture, it's still Super Puff, but where the glitter does have, it just looks like glitter, but this one to me looks even puffier than this one.
It does.
It looks so much puffier than this one. I think the
interesting,
glitter
actually.
gives it that extra puff look.
Yeah, it must.
Do you see what it means?
Yeah.
See? I'm absolutely obsessed.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to make some of that. Like, I can't even deal.
There's no words.
I have no word. The glitter is like the most sparkliest glitter I've ever seen, and it's not translating in the video because I'm looking at it
No, but
right
I mean,
now.
it's the thing is I love it.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
just a different look. To me, this looks so much more puffier than this does.
And it's so interesting because the Vols color even looks different because it does have a different texture, but
Yeah.
it's the same. Y'all, we use the same kind of vinyl.
I love it.